Don't miss this year's Cherryville Christmas Parade on ktcbroadcasting.com or go to YouTube and search Cherryville Christmas Parade.
Say, kids, what time is it?
This is the 60s.
Hey, JJ Wilson here reminding you to tune in this weekend for This is the 60s, featuring the best music from the best decade and so much more. There's 60s television, movies, news, pop culture, trivia, novelty songs, interviews, deep cuts, and a whole lot more. It's peace, love, and rock and roll on This is the 60s.
This is the 60s, Friday mornings from 10 a.m. till 12 noon on The Boss, WHS, AM and FM in Shelby, WLON in Lincolnton. When you shop our local advertisers, be sure to tell them you heard it on the radio. That way they'll know that their radio dollars they spend works for them and you too. Even in today's fast-moving world, radio remains the leading media to reach more people. 93% of Americans listen to AM/FM radio over the air. TV viewership is 89%, smartphone use is 83%, and personal computer use is 50%. So if you're a business owner, reach more people with the power of radio. If you don't tell it, you can't sell it. See the power of radio. WHS Shelby, WLO in Lincolnton, WCSL Cherryville. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
What's that howling?
Nothing to be afraid of. This is Coyote Tractor Country, mister. That howling just means somebody's bought another hard-working Coyote tractor.
If you're in the market for a hard-working, affordable 20 to 90 horsepower compact tractor, test drive a Coyote today.
You heard the man. Now get going. You're burning daylight, mister. Visit www.kioti.com.
Your Coyote dealer is West End Sales, Highway 1827 intersection in Vail. Check out the monthly specials at the Cherryville Country Club, open to the public with no reservations required. It's prime rib the first Friday of each month, crab legs on the second Thursday and Friday of each month. It's steak and wine the third Thursday and Friday of each month, and fish camp night, fourth Thursday and Friday of each month. And don't forget about their Sunday buffet, 11 to 2, $16 for adults with discounts for kids. Plus check out the Chicken on the Run bucket on Sundays. 8 pieces of chicken, 2 sides, and rolls for $14.50. Cherryville Golf and Country Club, Roy Acre Road, Cherryville.
It's time to tee it up at Kings Mountain Country Club. Open to the public 7 days a week. Play and ride 18 holes Monday through Friday for $28. Play and ride 18 holes on weekends for $40. And seniors 55 and older can play and ride Monday through Friday for just $24. For your tee time, call 704-739-5871 for the Kings Mountain Country Club. 100 Country Club Drive in Kings Mountain.
I only do things incredible can, cause I am seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me, cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you, cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to Saturday Sports Talk. Kevin Hastings along with Terry Reinhardt, Hunter Yancey, and Carson Doctor. We're here eating breakfast. Mitchem's Kitchen. Everybody's stuffing their faces. If you're watching live on YouTube, it looks like it's pancake time on this side of the table. And oh yeah, I didn't turn up anybody's headphones. You can jack mine up there too, yeah. Pancake time on this side of the table. Biscuit time on this side. Terry, you usually come here with the biggest breakfast ever. You're saving something up for Cat Square. That's the only thing I can guess. What's going on?
Cat Square is coming today. That's true.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I got 2 years.
It's been 2 years since Cat Square got the parade down the street.
And you know the mayor, Tom Saint.
Yep.
Over there today.
Yep.
So he's
I forget that place has a mayor.
Well, I'm over. Yeah. First thing I told him, I said, I need a raise.
Well,
and he's writing me an extra check.
You know what his job is, Carson? As mayor.
Point.
Tell him what his job as mayor of Cat Square is.
To go through the parade and wave at everybody.
Yeah.
He's got one
Smile
job.
away, boys. Smile away.
They elect the mayor once a year, and that's his only job, Carson.
Hey, man. That's not a bad gig.
There's some
That's not
You'll
a bad
be surprised at the check he gets at the end of this thing.
I mean, I've heard of government workers doing less. So
Brent Pasco is I texted him last night to announce the and he didn't know where Cat Square was or had ever heard of it, Terry.
Yeah, what is Cat Square?
He's never heard of it.
Ooh, you did you?
Oh man, history time.
You got to remember, I'm up in Catawba.
Well,
It's listen.
right up your alley.
Yeah, exactly. It's. I'm surprised you haven't heard of it.
Hog Hill.
Oh
You ever heard
boy.
of Hog Hill?
I've heard of Bunker Hill.
Okay,
Ah,
Hunter.
Plateau. You
How
ever
do
heard of
you-
Plateau?
How do you explain
Hunter,
Cat
you've
Square?
been to West Lincoln High School, right?
Yeah, I've been to West
All
Lincoln.
right, coming from Mandy's, you
Yeah.
know, West Lincoln at the corners there towards your left at that stoplight. Well, instead take a right,
Yeah.
you go up the road a few miles,
There's an intersection.
and then you get to a intersection with a red store and a car store and a auto body shop.
That's it.
And if you'll
And a
slow down,
restaurant.
in a restaurant, and if you'll slow down,
You gotta slow down
but
a
you gotta
lot.
slow because the it's a speed trap. So you got to get down to about 25 miles per hour. And if you look out your window as you're going across this intersection, there's a little cat painted in the intersection in a square.
That's it.
I can't make that.
But
That's the truth.
Hunter, when you get there and you go across, it is probably in North Carolina one of the longest Christmas parades.
Oh yeah.
In North Carolina.
Hunter, the first year we did the broadcast on video
Right.
was 3 hours and 15 minutes.
There you
What?
go.
Yeah, boy.
3 hours and 15
The very
minutes.
first year we did it was 3
People
hours.
keep
That's why you
themselves
told me
warm.
Jason's going to be
People-
having a good time.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
no. They have a real good time.
It's
Hunter.
already
So
started.
picture this. We're behind right now.
My watch ain't even
So
on.
picture this: 2.5 miles
Yeah.
of the road lined tailgating.
Oh,
I'm talking bumper to bumper
tailgating.
No football game in sight.
It is
What are
legitimate.
these people doing?
It's a
The
problem.
only thing they can do up there. What are you talking about?
I'm trying.
There's
to,
lots of brown paper bags. I think you're trying to.
explain-
You're you picking up what we're putting down.
No,
Hunter?
I picked up what you were
A
putting
lot of
down in the
fires.
beginning.
Lot
Let me tell you something.
lot of
Kevin
aluminum
told me
cans,
exactly what
lot
was
of
going to happen,
bottles.
all right?
We probably have more tailgating
Hot
up there than they do at the Carolina Panther games.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I would not be surprised.
For those people who like to go to the Panthers games and just tailgate and don't ever go to the game, this is like right up your alley.
This is your Super Bowl.
so Super Bowl.
I'm serious, man.
Now, I'm telling you.
If you're a professional tailgater,
Hey, go out
you
there
don't
and
go to Cat
pregame
Square.
say, get ready for the Army-Navy game today.
I'm gonna bring
Whatever
up
you
some-
got to tell yourself.
Yeah, whatever you got to do.
If you folks are watching on YouTube, I'm gonna bring it up here for Hunter, because we broadcast this every year. So you
it's
can
a
watch it on
spectacle.
YouTube today, and you can also watch the Cherryville Christmas parade today as well. Cherryville Christmas parade begins at 10:30 this morning. Myself and Calvin Hastings, and then we'll have the Cat Square. It's been moved up. It wasn't
1
2:30.
o'clock now.
Is it 1?
1 o'clock.
Not 1:30.
No, 1 o'clock.
It's been moved up to 1 o'clock, folks. Not 1.
Terry's the deputy mayor. He should know.
Yeah. Now remember, Hunter, how I described the parade in Cat Square?
Yeah,
They vote on a mayor,
Yeah.
and the mayor was won this year by West Lincoln head football coach Tom
I
Sanders.
wonder
And
why.
his only job is to ride in this said parade.
There's a
You'll
lot.
be surprised at that check at the end. I'm telling
Terry, are you butthurt you weren't named mayor?
you. No,
Have you ever been mayor, Terry?
No.
No.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what.
Campaign.
Campaign for Terry Reinhardt,
Yeah.
next year's
Yeah.
mayor, 2019.
You got to be a legit
Come on,
member
folks.
of Cat Square over there in that area.
Hey, you're close
That's
enough.
what they
Does
do.
Tom live in Cat Square?
Yeah, not
Okay.
well. I mean, Tom lives right beside the scene.
A lot closer than you do, don't you?
So he lives right next to the cat.
He
in the square.
is within daggum maybe 100
Steps
yards.
on the cat's.
He can walk, if you can walk
Within dadgum 100 yards.
That's right.
If you can walk to the cat, if you within 100 yards and you go 9-2, you're the mayor. Right
Yeah,
there.
yeah, hey, there you go. I agree.
Hey,
I
from now
agree
on,
with
they
that.
should just name him the mayor forever, and then we'll vote on deputy mayors from now on. How about that?
There you go.
Proposal.
I don't do
Yeah.
parades much, though.
I don't do parades.
I don't. I mean, they're just.
This isn't a parade. You don't understand what I'm trying to say to you.
Oh,
It's an experience, not a parade.
This
It's an
is everything
experience.
about a Christmas parade that you'd ever want to see.
Every cameraman that I know in Lincoln County turned the job down because they're going to the parade instead of wanting to work at it. Can you understand what I'm saying to you?
I'm still here.
Well, JP,
If y'all wondered.
JP, you got beat out. I know. I don't want you an hour and a half away from your home in the middle of Cat Square.
We might lose it, JP.
Now you would fit in today, now wouldn't it, Terry?
Yeah, you would.
He's got the camo on and the camo Santa hat. So,
Boy, if you wanna, feel it, just go there and have a game where you take a sip every time you see somebody in camo. You'll be done in 5 minutes.
It is worth, if you've never been to it, and if you go one time, you're either going to make a choice like, man, this was the greatest thing I saw.
You either love it or hate it.
Yeah.
Here's the real question. We're about, what, two weeks out from Christmas? 2.5 weeks out from Christmas? Are we going to have an ugly Christmas sweater little show right here for the people watching on YouTube? We all just come in here in ugly Christmas sweaters.
Hey, you know what mine will be? It'll just be a
Can we
Carolina
put,
sweater.
oh my gosh, Terry.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to wear.
Yeah, Terry, we'll match. Yeah.
Terry,
I might steal somebody's Redskin jersey or something.
yeah, let me buy a Peterson jersey. We do some stuff real quick.
It's too soon. Okay. You know why it's too soon? Alex Smith is fighting in that infection.
Well, no, I'm going to tell you.
Man, that was just
Speaking of
ominous.
something,
Like, good
yeah.
Lord.
I will say this,
Too soon.
and as you
And we
went
have
to
Bud
there,
Fumble at the helm. It's too soon.
well, I'm going to tell you, and this is me. My heart does go out to Alex Smith
yeah,
because not
absolutely.
that he
That's
broke
hard.
his leg, but now he's got an infection that he's having to deal with.
Yeah.
His career could be done.
That is absolutely. I was speaking with a buddy of mine, and he was like, "So how do you feel about Mark Sanchez being at the helm?" I'm like, I'm watching it, but I'm talking as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, I'm gonna let you know right now. I mean, that's about all we have left to choose from in the pickings that fits, our system. Everybody says, oh, we'll bring in Kaepernick and bring in such and such. You got to fit the system that we're running, okay? And that's what Mark Sanchez does, and you get him for cheap." So you can't really complain there, but the fact is that Alex Smith is 35. He'll be 36. He's getting a little bit in age, and this is a bad injury. I know modern medicine is a lot better than what Theismann went through, but now you're fighting infection on top of recovering from the break, and then also who's to say when he comes back, Alex Smith, he's not going to be so gun shy on that leg. They'll be just like how RG3 was when he came back off his knee injury. He didn't want to tear it up again. So I think it's time, Redskins Nation, just go ahead and put your hands in the air and pray that Dan Snyder does not mess this draft up because we need a quarterback.
Well, you know how they could not mess it up is if they just had a new owner. That would fix a
Y'all want
lot
a
of their
petition for
problems.
me to own the
Y'all
Redskins?
going to end up trading y'all's first round pick for, I don't know, Eli or something.
Don't put that magic on us.
I can see
I will say this.
I can see Flacco just coming down the street.
No, I heard that too. Yeah. I would not mind though if the Redskins, if they were going to trade for anybody, take Teddy Bridgewater off just sitting there on the bench in New Orleans.
Hunter, as we're sitting here watching this video and you see all these people over here, when they come, now you see that little Corvette right up there, that's the reason he only has himself in there, because the whole side of him over here on the passenger side is loaded down with candy.
Yeah, it's the most candy you've ever seen too. Well. If you like candy, you
can fill up bags after bags.
I'm trying. You said you had something.
Hunter's gonna go. I gotta finish Christmas shopping. This is one weekend where I'm not loaded down with homework, so I can actually get Christmas shopping done.
Well, this right here is going to last you 2.5, 3 hours.
1 to 3 today.
1 to 3.
Hunter is
you might not be out of there.
Hunter's going to come through with like a snow shovel and get the sides of the streets with all the candy and just.
So Hunter, what you do?
Why do you make fun of me?
That's not making
just
fun.
like Kevin.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Collard green over here.
I was just saying, I felt like collard greens was underrated because I had some great collard greens that my mother made.
Oh, God.
And you want to come around and say, how is this kid not 500 pounds? I mean, you act like I don't go to the gym.
I keep forgetting how old you are.
Hey,
I had a
I'm
roommate
22.
I had a roommate from college from West Lincoln, Terry. He would eat a Big Mac. Him and his girlfriend would go to Outback, and she wouldn't know He would eat a pregame Big Mac meal and still pound steak and the whole 3-course meal and everything. And he weighed 150 pounds. It's just one of those people.
Now, see, I can't do that anymore. I can't go and eat a huge meal and then go and eat another huge meal right after.
That's the craziest thing I ever see. All right, we got a caller on the line, and Coach, it's not my fault. I'm guessing this is Coach Harold because JP, I don't know what he spelled on that board in there. Who do we got, JP? This is Coach Harold. Coach Harold, you there? Coach Harold, are you on there? JP, you hitting the buttons right in there?
He's on.
You hear him talking? We don't hear him talking.
Oh, we hear something now.
Is that Coach you there now?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how's it going, Coach?
Good, doing good.
You on the parade this morning?
Yes, sir. Trying to stay warm this morning. Had a good week of basketball this week with 3 games.
And I know you guys did. Y'all had a great week of basketball. Now that football season's over, basketball's kicking up here on WCSL. You guys had a big win last night at home against West Lincoln. And,
yeah, boy.
You guys getting warmed up for Christmas tournaments, right?
Yes, sir, we are. The football team had a really successful year here in town, so we got our football players a little later than normal, but they're finally getting around into basketball shape and starting to play really good defense and as a team sharing the ball, which always makes Coach happy.
In between the football games and all, but I don't know what you gave them kids yesterday, but they come out and they lit us up last night. I mean, it seems like every time I was listening, y'all were stealing the ball, going in for layups, and I mean, you tell me what happened last night, or was, I mean, I understand y'all had already played one time this year and you won, but last night was just total domination.
In the first game, it was a really close game. West Lincoln was leading after the first quarter at their place, and we had a really good second quarter at their place that we were able to force some turnovers, and in the second half, it pretty much stayed the same. It was, close all the way through both of those quarters, so we just talked about getting an early start, doing some things that we did in the second quarter up there that was successful. And we trapped a lot in the first quarter and got a lot of turnovers, and man, the next thing you know, we've jumped out to a 24-1 lead, and it just kind of snowballed from there. The kids just had a lot of energy. It was a great atmosphere for high school with the student section. The kids really got into it and just was having a good time, and I think our kids just fed off of that energy and put kind of a complete game together there in the first half.
Well, I know Lane Harrell, he's the one that led you in scoring last night. Speak a little bit more about that young man.
Well, Lane, that hit's pretty close to home, him being my son, but he's been working really hard in the off-season. He had a really good summer series on the AAU circuit and traveled around a lot with the team out of Far City and got a lot of good competition there. And I think, his hard work, and I think the kids here have really, fed in the ball. Levante Hughes at the point guard, Dylan Harden at the point guard. And, he got a lot of good open looks last night, which helped to see those shots go down. This year, I guess we're 4-1 now, and we've had in 4 to 5 games, we've had 4 different leading scorers. So it's not just Lane. There's a lot of balance, and in 3 of those games, we've had 4 people in double figures. So that's what we would rather see is, really balanced scoring, so you can't just concentrate on one person.
Well, Coach, how is the conference looking at? Because, year to year in that conference, it's kind of hard to tell. Is it a wait and see type thing, or do you kind of know what you got coming in, that you got facing coming in?
Well, you always know the Lincoln Charter is going to be, Lincoln Charter that's been to won a state championship 2 years ago, went to the semifinals last year. Highland Tech's sitting at 8-0 right now. They've got 2 really, really good players. Kobe Christian was Player of the Year in the conference last year. He's back, and I think he's averaging about 30 points a game. Bessemer City's really athletic. Piedmont Charter has a really good singer in the Perlo kid, and they got 2 transfers in there at Piedmont Charter. So I think the conference is going to be pretty tough.
Well, Coach, we look forward to it, and y'all take care of Milton and Danny out there and make sure they get up in that crow's nest all okay, safely up there.
I think they said it was a little warm up there in that crow's nest last night. Nixon Gym seems to stay warm at times.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, that thing's broke, ain't it?
The heater stays on high, I think.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Me and Coach Chapman were talking yesterday, and I said, my goodness, I said, I don't even care if you're a fan or whoever. Take your coat off before you ever go in, because you are going to be sweating.
Wear shorts and a T-shirt, and you'll be just fine.
So, you guys had some. You want to talk a little bit about you real quick before we go about your student section helping out there in the 1A, in a 1A school. How that helps out?
Yeah, it really does. You know, they see each other. They're all friends in school because it's such a small school. And the student section last night, they had a ESPN Sports Center theme, so we had 5 broadcasters with their table and commentating the game. And, you know, it's just memories that these kids will carry on for a lifetime, that they can look back at the fun times they had and a good atmosphere of all those students who come out and support the basketball team.
Well, my last question is, are you ready to go sledding, skiing? What's your plans for the snow?
Well, you know, as a basketball coach, you don't like any dead time, so that'll be a little difficult. But as just a person and enjoying snow and the beauty of it, yeah, I mean, I am looking forward to it.
Y'all get some snow chains on the bus and go pick up everybody.
Well, back in the day, we used to do that. Yeah. You know, the way the school systems work now, if school's out, there's no practice, no games, so you just hope they stay warm, stay safe inside. No injuries out there while sledding, but it looks like we're going to get a good snowfall.
Now, you guys, you going to go fishing or anything in the snow?
No, but my son Trevor, he's a sophomore at Appalachian, and
right.
He's got exams this week, and then they have a big fishing tournament next weekend up at Lake Norman, so hopefully the snow will be gone for them. He's fishing on the college fishing series.
Well, that's awesome. Keep us updated on that, Coach, when you call us in and let us know about how he's doing with that.
Yes, sir. Thanks to WCSL for carrying our games on the radio as well. I appreciate Milton and Danny and Kevin, you and Calvin for letting that happen.
All right, Coach. Well, you have a good weekend. Stay safe, and tell everybody on the team and everybody else stay safe and have fun.
All right. Take care. Merry Christmas, boys.
All right. Merry Christmas, Coach.
See you.
All right, folks. That's Coach Scott Harrell, Cherryville basketball, Gaston County all-time winningest coach, right, Terry? I should have asked him that. Made sure I got that right before I said that. Hit the off on the phone there. Did you turn it off? Okay, I was gonna make sure that my headphones are jacked up right now. Hunter, we're watching some highlights from some of the past Cat Square parades.
Yeah.
What do you think? You like it? You think it's your cup of tea?
Looks like my people.
Looks like
yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Carson agrees. It's time for a break. We'll be back in a minute on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Join KTC Broadcasting for the live broadcast of the Cherryville Christmas Parade this Saturday with coverage beginning at 10:15 a.m. The parade will begin at 10:30. Our broadcast this year is being brought to you by Creason Roofing of Cherryville, The Shop of Cherryville, the Stamey Cherryville Funeral Home in Cherryville, Full Throttle Power Sports in Lowell, Ronaldo Auto Mall in Shelby, West End Sales of Vale, Mitchem's Kitchen in Vale, Auto Parts U-Pull in Shelby, by Peak Resources of Cherryville, by Seller Service Center of Cherryville, by Dellinger's Electric of Cherryville, by Medical Center Pharmacy of Cherryville, by Sheila Sheds of Cherryville, Shelby, and Lincolnton, by Hopper Heating and Air in Shelby, by Sizzle & Sons Paint and Body Shop in Kings Mountain, by Parker Farm Service of Kings Mountain, by RD Wholesale Mattress of Cherryville, and by Mr. Sparky, Wise Electric of Cherryville. Don't miss this year's Cherryville Christmas Parade on KTCBroadcasting.com or go to YouTube and search Cherryville Christmas Parade.
Register to win $1,000 in Christmas cash. It will be given away Monday, December the 24th, Christmas Eve at 8 a.m. on the Boston Carolina Country. Register today with no obligation to buy at Brown & Howe Dentistry on East Marion Street in Shelby, at Love Insurance Agency on East Main Street in Lincolnton, at Mountain Holiday in downtown Kings Mountain, at Denny's Restaurant on East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia, at Classical Lamp Designs on Highway 180 North in Shelby. at the Great Outdoors, Highway 150 East in Cherryville. At Hillbilly's Barbecue on East Garrison Boulevard in Gastonia. At Honda Motorcycles on East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. At Parker Farm Service on Bessie Drive in Kings Mountain. At Mi Pueblita Mexican Restaurant on West Warren Street in Shelby. And at Watson Carpet and Tile on East Main Street in Lincolnton. Register and win the $1,000 Christmas cash giveaway.
I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as I count down the week's top 30 with my co-hosts Dan and Shay, who watched a little football at the home of Thomas Rhett.
He went all out on his outdoor patio setup. It's really sick. It's got like outdoor fireplace with a TV and a little bit of football on. You know, he's got a good setup.
That's Dan and Shay this week on Country Countdown USA.
Country Countdown USA with Lon Helton. Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country, 92.3 FM and 1590 AM WCSL. Online at KDCBroadcasting.com.
Don't miss the Golf Shop radio show broadcast every Wednesday morning from 11 to 12. Hosts Mark Greenhalgh and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. Welcome to the Golf Shop.
Tee it up and let it fly at the Crowders Mountain Golf Course, voted Gaston County's best course. Ride and play Monday through Friday for just $28. Play and ride after 12 for $25. On weekends and holidays, play and ride for $38 and afternoon for only $28. Seniors 55 and older play and ride Monday through Friday for $25. And Monday is Ladies' Day. Ladies play and ride on Mondays for $18. The Crowders Mountain Golf Course, located on 255 Lincoln Academy Road in Gastonia.
If bowling's your game, head to George Pappas, Liberty Lanes in Gastonia. At Liberty Lanes in Gastonia, you'll find 32 lanes, 16 with bumpers for small children. Liberty Lanes is a smoke-free facility with a full snack bar and game room with pool tables, plus a pro shop too, providing bowlers of all skill levels with a fun-filled environment for both league and open bowling. That's George Pappas, Liberty Lanes, Highway 321 South, Gastonia.
Man, I only do things incredible can, 'cause I am the seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me.
Welcome back to Saturday Morning Sports Talk. I am Carson Dockery, Hunter Yancey, Texas Terry Reinhardt. Some Cleveland Browns guys off doing technical things, so we're gonna.
He's working.
I don't know. We'll start with obviously we got to start with the college football playoff. Terry, who's our 4 teams in since people may not have the internet?
Number 1, Alabama. That's right.
Put Greenbow in front of that and he can play
Number
for us.
2, the Clemson Tigers. Number 3, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. And number 4, and some people maybe does not like
I'm okay with it. I understand why you don't like it.
Well, yeah, and you know why, but I mean, does it? Did the pick shock me? No, not at all. I mean, I could see it coming, but
anyway, who are we talking about, Terry?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. So it'll be Alabama, Oklahoma, Clemson, Notre Dame. Last time Clemson Notre Dame played was what? About 3 or 4 years ago in Clemson, and it was an overtime game. It was a really good game.
You know, when I sit back and look at this, a lot of people sit back, and I've heard people say, "Oh, Oklahoma, man, they're going to be able." I'm going to tell you what, Oklahoma, you're getting ready to get embarrassed. I think you can score.
I don't think anybody.
You're not going to go against that defense and score lots.
That's the thing is, I mean, I understand why you put Oklahoma. It is one of the highest scoring offenses ever in college football.
And they're the Big 12 champion.
They're the Big 12 champion. You can't put 2 teams from one conference, 1 team from one conference, and an independent in. Really, if you think about it. That's just not. I understand that this is all really just a TV show more than it is anything else.
Right now it is, yeah.
But that's the thing is if it's going to be a TV show like that, you've got to have some, you got to have some representation. You can't just make it, the obvious East Coast bias where you've got all 4 teams basically in the same time zone. That's just, I mean, if you're a fan that's from the Midwest or, out on the West, obviously, if you're on the, I understand, good. I understand, but I mean, you have cases. You've got, Washington State and other teams like that out on the West Coast. UCF is as mad as anybody.
Yeah.
Again.
I agree.
That's, I mean, 2 straight.
I agree. And
Perfect
guess what?
regular
if
season.
they went to 8, it would be the 1-8 matchup between Alabama and UCF.
You don't think they'd be higher than the 8?
Well, I have a hard
Well, that's just
time.
what they're ranked right now. I'm just saying if it was today and they were doing the 8 seeds for 8 seed playoff, it would be what everybody's wanted to see: Alabama, UCF opening round.
Yeah.
But I still have a hard time when I sit back. UCF has done this for 2 years now.
Yeah.
And you're not representing them at all. And when you do this, I mean, how many more games do they have to win? Now, if they come up in this bowl game and win this bowl game
against the LSU,
well, I'm gonna tell you what, they're gonna do the same thing they did last year. They're gonna order everybody rings, saying we're the national champions.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I don't blame
At
them.
this
If
point,
you're not going to get a fair shot, you need to reward your players.
I mean, when's the last time we had back-to-back undefeated seasons from any team? It seems like it was probably Alabama. Let's be honest, but I mean,
but it was a few years.
Yeah, I was gonna
ago.
say, and it's not like it's something that's
no, they didn't do it this year.
Happening.
I mean, they lost last year.
And I know some people sit back as far as Georgia, and don't get me wrong, I think the loss prior hurt Georgia
more than
because
I agree.
That's the other thing.
So
you
bad.
weren't gonna put a 2, especially. I mean, Georgia, like you said, Hunter. Georgia is the team that's I think everybody can agree that's the team that scares Alabama the most. That's played Alabama the best. But they're now a 2-loss team, and you can't put a 2-loss team in a 2-loss team that's not a conference champion in before a 1-loss team that is a conference champion.
And trust me, I knew that was going to happen coming in, but that's still, like, at the end of the day, if you were to tell me the best 4 teams got in, that's a lie.
Yeah.
Because Georgia is every bit as good as Notre Dame is, and it's every bit as good as Oklahoma is.
This is why I would want I'd not necessarily jump straight to a top 8. I'd want a top 6 because I think your top 2 teams, that's just about year in and year out, you can name your top 2 teams.
Yeah.
This year,
for the past few years, it's been Alabama, Clemson.
And then after you go to that, you're going to have what? It would be Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Oklahoma, Georgia, probably.
Yeah, that would be the matchups if you went 6. If you gave your top 2 a bye, and the other 4 had to play.
And I think that is just as good. I mean, you're getting as many good games. You're getting a couple more good games, really.
Who would be your top 6?
So Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, Oklahoma. If we're doing the top 4 plus 2, you would add Ohio State and Georgia probably.
Because that's who's at the 5-6.
That's who's at 5-6 right now. Yeah.
So you would stay there with a Ohio State team that got pounded by.
Well, no, I'm not saying I'd go with them. I'm going off of the top 6.
We're just going off of what's been.
If it were me, Georgia would be 5. UCF
That's
would be 6.
That's why I have a hard time because I'm looking here and people say, well, UCF didn't play such and such or whatever. But when I have to throw Ohio State in there and they got pounded by 29 points.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I know, that's what I'm saying. And then when well,
who's the 7? LSU's a 7.
And then you couldn't put Michigan in there because Ohio State
dropped 60
them
on
by 40
them.
almost.
I think LSU's the 7. So I was about to say UCF and whoever the 7 could be interchangeable with where Ohio State's sitting.
Would you send LSU into it? Because, Alabama beat them 29
That would be 3 SEC schools.
You'd have to send UCF before anybody else.
You would have to.
Yeah.
You'd have to. There's just no way around
But then think about it. LSU's going to make the noise, well, we beat Georgia. Why is Georgia in with 2 losses?
Well, that's true.
And we only have 1 loss to Alabama.
Yeah.
No, they don't. Did LSU lose early in the season to Florida? Or did LSU beat Florida?
I don't know.
Because I'm trying to think. Does LSU have 1 or 2 losses?
Either way, UCF. If we're
going
top 6, yeah, you got to put UCF in.
Because right now it's a joke. It's
the fact that
it's a joke.
And the SEC commissioner came out and said, you got to play such and such. I mean, they do have a 90th. They have the 90th ranked strength of schedule. I think Alabama's 40, or the top 3 is 40, 42, and 48.
Well, I was about to say Georgia's top 5 strength of schedule.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And it's one of those things. I mean, they tell you to beef up your schedule. You can only do so much in college football. It's not like college basketball where you can, in between summers, you can say, "Hey, you guys want to play a game? Play a home and home."
Yeah,
over the
you
next
can
couple
only do so much in
college football is scheduled years in advance.
But you also have to remember too that you can't control how good your conference is, and you can't hold it against the SEC that every team can go out and beat anybody.
Is it fair to sit back and say the Fighting Irish, without a championship, automatically get in because they're
I don't
unbeaten?
think that's fair.
The other thing that bothers me
I wanna talk
about
that.
thing that bothers me about Notre Dame is they only have to. How many ACC opponents do they have?
They
to play?
only
Was
have
it
to
like-
schedule 6.
and they can pick any 6 they want.
Yeah,
they're not in the
own.
Coastal or Atlantic. They don't have to line up against. Obviously Clemson would be the best team out of half of it. Or then on the other side, you don't have to play Pitt, you don't have to play BC. And those are probably your Virginia Tech. Those are your other.
It burns me up when I think about it.
Clemson is the biggest ACC opponent they've ever played, and it was a couple years ago. They've been beat by Duke at home. There's a reason. I'm sure they're gun shy.
This is how I'm looking at Notre Dame. All right, Notre Dame. If I'm the committee, I'm looking at Notre Dame and saying, all right, we're gonna let you get in this year because you had a good season. You did. You beat some pretty tough teams. You've gone undefeated. But if you want to try and come back in this playoff,
you got to.
You have got to commit to the ACC. And you have got to commit to whichever side of the conference Clemson is not in. And if you think you're top dog, it should have been Notre Dame versus Clemson in Charlotte, not Pittsburgh versus Clemson in Charlotte. I mean, come on. How are you going to fully commit to the ACC in basketball and be scared in football? Just fully commit. The ACC has had it was a down year this year as a whole for the ACC. Florida State wasn't that great. Okay, NC State, they surprised some people, but they still had some bad losses.
We had the toughest loss North Carolina State we had was against Wake Forest at home.
Yeah.
Because they've never
can't
made
give
it
that
back.
game
No,
up.
you lost that game and you've never got back in the top 25 since.
Miami had a down year. Everybody thought they were going to have a pretty good year. Clemson is the only team in the ACC that proved their dominance, and it shows. They went undefeated.
And then they beat people bad.
And they did beat people bad.
However long it was ago, 10, 15 years ago, when you added Miami and Florida State, we still haven't had a Miami-Florida State matchup in the ACC championship game, and that was the selling point to get them.
Same?
I don't think they are.
Not in the same,
I'm pretty sure they're not.
Division.
I don't think they are.
They're not.
Well, and because that was the selling point was, all right, we're gonna beef up the football side of the conference. We're gonna add 2 powers. And obviously, Florida State has come in. They've won a national championship. They've gone to a couple national championship games. Yeah. But Miami has just underperformed.
I thought Mark Richt was going to have a lot of success going down there, and he did. He did.
They had a compared to Al Golden and Randy Shannon and a couple guys before. That's what I'm saying. Is in comparison, he's moving them in the right direction, but. The U, I don't think it'll ever be the U again. Because you think about it, when they were at their height.
The U, they were having future Hall of Famers.
Orlando, all the way down to South Beach. They got whoever they wanted, and that is one of the best, places, best places you can get high school football players.
If you own your state in recruiting, like they did.
You should win. You should
win. But you got to remember the U. It was not. At the core of it, they just had Hall of Famers all over the place.
Well, yeah, no, you had Hall of Famers starting, and then you had NFL, Pro Bowl NFL caliber guys that were backups.
Yeah. So.
You'd come in one year, you have Jeremy Shockey. The next year, you go to somebody. Jeremy Shockey was actually the backup of somebody else, but anyway, you had.
I know what you're trying.
Yeah,
to
you had guys that were just ready to fill in immediately every single year, every single game from game to game. But that's a whole.
I don't
other
think
thing
we'll
to get
ever
into.
have a team in college football that's like the U again.
No,
I don't think we ever will because there's not that swagger in college football anymore.
Yeah,
they try to bring it with the turnover chain,
but it's not the same.
But it's not the same. It really is not the same because it's different when the team is so dominant,
and it's different when like we talked about. They're all from Central Florida down. Yeah. They've known each other since they were 6 years old playing Pee-wee against each other all the way up to high school where they either played with each other or against each other.
And people could say, oh, well, what about Alabama? They've been so dominant. You don't get that feel from Alabama. You know why? Because Nick Saban doesn't.
No, it's a
Nick
very
Saban
different
is very,
place. It's
very
different
compare
coach.
It's very different because the coach, Nick Saban.
We're going to compare Nick Saban to Jimmy Johnson.
No. I'm just saying.
Personality-wise,
that's what I'm saying.
That's as wide a gap as you can have.
Personality-wise, the closest thing you could compare compare Nick Saban to is Bill Belichick. That's all. The Alabama is very Patriot-esque.
Or Bear Bryant, if you want to just stay at the school itself. I mean, those are two very similar guys.
I know that they're as dominant as the U was, but it's just not the same. It's not the same. You don't have the personality. And Alabama, there's a huge difference between going and seeing a tailgate at Alabama and seeing a tailgate down there in Miami.
Yeah, it is.
That's very different.
Yeah, it is.
That's very different. But, Terry, what I want to get to the root of is this. Mike Leach came out, head coach of Washington State, and he made a great point. It was in a press conference, and he did it very jokingly. He said, the high school level does it. FCS does it. 1A, 1AA does it. They do a big 16-team bracket tournament. He said, and the NFL does it. I don't think it's 16 teams. Well, both, yeah. He says, what's the difference with us?
Well,
what's the difference with us? Why can't we at least have 8? Why can't we at least have 8? I mean, I'm not saying it has to be 16, but I don't care. I'd love it. That's more football for all of us. You can play multiple games a day. What's the difference? Just take out, if you want to take out a regular season game, take out the cupcake game everybody plays each year.
I think if you go to 8, that keeps UCF in the mix.
Yeah.
You're going to have a chance because you're going to be unbeaten.
Right.
And you're going to be up there. I mean, it's like the Fighting Irish. A lot of people question them or whether they should be in or not. I've always sat back and said they had a great defense, and I think they should be there.
I think they can run the ball, but, I mean, you can't be one-dimensional going in this playoff.
No, you cannot. And everybody's want to sit back and say it's going to be Alabama against Clemson is what a lot of people are saying because – but I even totally look at it different because I really think that the Fighting Irish are going to beat Clemson. It's going to be Alabama against the Fighting Irish.
Clemson looked shaky against Pittsburgh. They really did. They didn't look that hot. And Clemson's had a couple games this year where Trevor Lawrence has looked like a freshman. And I think it's going to catch up to him. Yeah, I think it's going to catch up to him on the big lights here on the big stage. And there have been moments where you're thinking, like the Syracuse game, man, they looked shaky in the Syracuse game. And then for Syracuse really to blow that game, that's really how Clemson escaped unscathed all year. Syracuse blew that game, or else there should have been a one loss because they were down to their third-string quarterback for Clemson. So I agree that the 8 teams, I mean, everybody loves a Cinderella story. And that would let UCF get in here and have the chance for a Cinderella story. Yes. But I'm like you, Terry. I think Oklahoma's going to get shelled. I seriously think Oklahoma's going to get shelled. A buddy of mine he likes Oklahoma. It's not his first team, but his father likes Oklahoma. And he told me, he said, Oklahoma would put up a better fight against Alabama than anybody else. I said, no. Because think about it. Even though Oklahoma can score a lot of points, there is efficiently no defense ever played in the Big 12. Think about it. Every game they've had to play, if they don't outscore somebody, they're going to lose. I said this defense for Alabama is made up maybe 9 of the 11 people on the field are starting NFL caliber defense.
The defense, Alabama's defense this year hasn't been as good as it has been. I mean, it's been fantastic. It's been really good, but it's not been the usual Alabama. What's made Alabama so good this year is they have an open offense. They have with Tua. That's what I'm saying. And when's the last time they've never Nick Saban's never had a quarterback like Tua.
No, you're right.
Ever. He's either had pocket guys like AJ McCarron and Greg McElroy, or he's had a guy who can run it like Jalen Hurts. It's never been a true dual threat quarterback and as good a thrower as Tua.
When I say this, I don't think Oklahoma scores more than 25, and I think Alabama scores 40.
It depends on who's the quarterback, though. I think Alabama will win.
They have got so much time for Tua to get healthy. It's not even funny. They don't play until the first of the year.
It's a 6-week. That's how long that this is supposed to take to fully heal. He was in a walking boot the other day when he got the Maxwell.
6 weeks. All right, what are we? We're about. From last week.
We're 4 weeks out,
he's
basically.
4 weeks out. They're going to shoot him up with something, and he's going to go out there, and he's just going to play. That's exactly what they're going to do. But even still, I don't think they can stop Jalen Hurts either.
To me, that's the problem. I think if Hurts plays, I think ball control, honestly, is all on Alabama.
If I'm Alabama going into this Oklahoma game, I'd rather have Jalen Hurts.
Oh yeah,
because
I would much rather have a 100% quarterback than.
And Hunter, I don't want to open fresh wounds, but he passed really well in the Georgia game. He did.
I know. No.
He did. Yeah,
he passed really well. There's so many holding calls not called on that game.
Oh no, yeah. Well, that's every game. Every game, every play.
He was running for his life every play that he made those big conversions. Yeah, there was a holding play. It was a holding as clear as day because you don't just get flushed out of the pocket if there's not pressure.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, he's
no, but I agree. I would much rather, if I was Alabama, if one is healthy and can go, and the other one is 85%, at this point in the in the season, you gotta go with who's healthy.
And I mean, the other thing is, I mean, Jalen Hurts sort of stabilizes that running game. You know, normally we're used to having Alabama they usually have a feature back. They don't normally. I mean, they'll split it, but I mean. I can't name Alabama's running back this year.
I don't know who their running back is. I'll be honest. I don't know because they were kept showing 2 or 3 different guys for against Georgia. And that's which one of them's going to do it? Which one of them's going to show me that hey, I'm like Derrick Henry. Hey, I'm like DeMarc Ingram. I mean, none of them. None of them. Now maybe they'll show out next year because all the eyes are on Tua.
Well, Tua's only a sophomore. He's still got one, maybe 2 more years.
I don't know. In all seriousness, I think Alabama is going to rout Oklahoma.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think everybody.
I told you Alabama wouldn't beat Georgia by 20.
Yeah, they did well. I was very proud. I even sent you a thing. I said it was a great game, and it's a tough one to lose.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it was. And it was 100% lost. I think Kirby Smart has got a bad case of the Jim Harbaugh. And what I mean by that is when Jim Harbaugh faces Urban Meyer, he crumbles under pressure. When Kirby Smart faces Nick Saban, he crumbles under pressure.
I wouldn't say that he. I wouldn't say that he crumbles. I would say that
so far this is back-to-back years, literally not even a year separated, where he gets beat after being up.
What was the difference in the game, though? To me, the call on 4th down.
On that punt, stupidest call I've ever seen. Going for a fake punt in that field position.
Yeah,
that field position. You get rid of it. Get rid of it.
And your defense is good enough to keep them deep and then try something
the thing about Kirby Smart to me is Nick Saban has never lost to a former assistant.
Well, no,
and it's not necessarily that he's got, like you said, Jim Harbaugh syndrome, however you want to phrase it. And Nick Saban's just that good. And Kirby Smart
I don't know how you can say Nick Saban is just that good when literally he was down by 14 at the half.
He won.
And I know he won. Did he win, or did the dogs just choke it away?
He's also the guy in a championship game
that made the decision.
His backup was just
made the call.
Yeah,
he made the call.
That was smart. Now this time, Tua just gets hurt,
but
it has to go in with the backup. All I'm saying is, I'm not gonna give Nick Saban any credit on this win against Georgia, and it's not that I don't like Nick Saban. I think he's great. I think Kirby Smart and the team just choked it away, and it starts with that punt, and it starts again with the offensive coordinator.
I think he's just trying to get something going because I think he knows more than
it was.
He knows more than
when Justin Fields took.
And that's the thing. It was blatant. It wasn't. They throw him in here sometimes.
Defense wasn't even in the.
It was literally you saw him come out and you saw guys audibling immediately. They knew.
Immediately.
Okay. Let's do a little. We'll keep it on college football. Well, Terry, you go.
Yeah, I got 2 questions for you. The first one is who you think plays for the national championship.
Alabama, Clemson.
I think Clemson's defense is going to be This is going to be the best defense Notre Dame has seen all year.
Clemson's got one of the best front fours in a very long time in college football.
You're going to hear those boys called maybe first, second round.
Yeah.
Okay, my second question.
Yeah.
As we are coming down and we're starting to see it every year.
Yeah.
Players are deciding not to play in the bowl game.
I think it's smart.
Have we heard anybody from Alabama who says they're not playing?
I don't think.
Think about it, guys.
Well, think about this, Terry. Normally, the guys that sit out bowl games, they're the Hyundai Sun Bowl or the Poinsettia Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, why is this
guys
happening?
never sit out in the national championship game.
North Carolina State has players that's going to sit out and not play against Texas A&M.
LSU has got a player. He's considered the number 2 player on Mel Kiper's big board.
Oh, Devin White?
Yeah. No. Cornerback.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but he's sitting out of their game against UCF because to him, that check, and I don't blame him. I mean, if you
No,
got the
that's
chance,
life-changing money.
If you were to tell me I could go top 10 in the NFL draft as long as I don't get hurt, and then I have one more game
I'll
to play,
stay in a padded room.
I'll go to the game, and I'll just keep the uniform on. I won't even dress in pads. I'll just have maybe even a hoodie on. I'll be there to support my guys, but I'm not risking them millions of dollars.
I mean, yeah, I'm with you. All right, that'll take us to a commercial break. We'll be right back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk, only on KTC Broadcasting.
Join KTC Broadcasting for the live broadcast of the Cherryville Christmas Parade this Saturday with coverage beginning at 10:15 a.m. The parade will begin at 10:30. Our broadcast this year is being brought to you by Creason Roofing of Cherryville, The Shop of Cherryville, the Stamey Cherryville Funeral Home in Cherryville, Full Throttle Power Sports in Lowell, Ronaldo Auto Mall in Shelby, West End Sales of Vale, Mitchem's Kitchen in Vale, Auto Parts U-Pull in Shelby, by Peak Resources of Cherryville, by Seller Service Center of Cherryville, by Dellinger's Electric of Cherryville, by Medical Center Pharmacy of Cherryville, by Sheila Sheds of Cherryville, Shelby, and Lincolnton, by Hopper Heating and Air in Shelby, by Sizzle & Sons Paint and Body Shop in Kings Mountain, by Parker Farm Service of Kings Mountain, by RD Wholesale Mattress of Cherryville, and by Mr. Sparky, Wise Electric of Cherryville. Don't miss this year's Cherryville Christmas Parade on KTCBroadcasting.com or go to YouTube and search Cherryville Christmas Parade.
Due to the inclement weather predicted for Sunday, the live radio remote broadcast at the Mountain View Farm Event Barn has been canceled for this Sunday and will be rescheduled in the spring. Please stay tuned for the future announcements. We apologize for the inconvenience, and please contact the Mountain View Farm Event Barn for your future events.
Ronaldo Auto Mall in Shelby, in cooperation with the local Salvation Army of Shelby, wants to help make this Christmas a little brighter for children in our area. Now through December 22nd, we're asking you to drop off an unwrapped toy and put it in the bed of the GMC Sierra truck in the Ronaldo Auto Mall showroom. The toys will be distributed to underprivileged children in our area. Plus, if you'd like to make a donation, a Salvation Army kettle will be available as well. Drop your unwrapped toy off today at Ronaldo Auto Mall, 4423 Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, right below the Cleveland Mall. And buy a vehicle at Ronaldo Auto Mall from now through December 22nd and receive a free smoked ham from Morris Supermarket in Shelby. Check out the monthly specials at the Cherryville Country Club, open to the public with no reservations required. It's prime rib the first Friday of each month, crab legs on the second Thursday and Friday of each month. It's steak and wine the third Thursday and Friday of each month, and fish camp night, fourth Thursday and Friday of each month. And don't forget about their Sunday buffet, 11 to 2, $16 for adults with discounts for kids. Plus, check out the Chicken on the Run bucket on Sundays. 8 pieces of chicken, 2 sides, and rolls for $14.50. Cherryville Golf and Country Club, Roy Acre Road, Cherryville. Buy more, save more at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center in Shelby. Come in now and save up to $1,200 on select GE Profile appliance packages, refrigerators, dishwashers, ranges, and microwave ovens. Let Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center put a package together for you. Again, save up to $1,200 on select GE Profile appliance packages. Buy more, save more at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center, 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 3 on Saturday. There's no one like you. And Pandora Jewelry is opening up all kinds of possibilities to show that to the world with the new open bangle. Beautifully crafted from sterling silver with new interchangeable end caps. You can mix, match, and even have the freedom to customize like never before. Shop the new open bangle from Pandora Jewelry now and do see the wonderful Pandora Jewelry. Available at Facet Foundry Jewelry Studios, 530 South New Hope Road, Gastonia. Online at FacetFoundryJewelry.com.
Blah, 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 Dallas Cowboys, blah, blah, blah.
You know America hates it when America's team is winning.
That
You
sounds
like them or
I
you do
thought
not.
America's team was red, white, and blue, and was it some team in New England?
America's team is the Duke Blue Devils. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, welcome back to Saturday Morning Sports Talk.
Shut up. We're not letting you talk anymore.
Breakfast brought to us by Terry Reinhardt.
Mitchem's
Who
Kitchen.
brought
And
it
Mitchell-
from us?
Mitchell's-
Who brought it to us from Mitchem's
There it
Kitchen?
is, yeah.
Yeah.
Robin and Carol, anytime you need something, 276-1155.
Let the record show I finished before Hunter today.
You did?
It's one of my proudest moments. Normally, not only did I get here significantly after Hunter, but
You want,
Hey, I was-
you want a cookie?
you know what I look like? I look like Zeke when he did that. When he does that.
That's right. Feed me.
Yeah.
Feed me.
Terry kills me, man. Yeah, we got some scores to go
That's
over.
it. Thank you,
Well, I did want to
I
go
mean,
over
hey.
one thing from our college thing. For
Okay,
last
yeah,
week.
go ahead,
yeah.
Well, Carson, this is for me and you, buddy.
Okay, all right.
We went 8-1.
8-1.
Hunter went like 5-4.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, Hunter.
Don't
It's
worry about
okay.
it, Hunter.
Look,
It'll be all right.
I'll just say this.
You went out on a limb.
You did. You tried to win.
And it no, it didn't. It didn't because I stayed over 500. Now, if I would have been 500 or lower, because you said I went 5-4.
Okay, so you was hanging.
I
there.
was hanging. I was hanging. But I'll say this:
Just like
I was
the Dallas Cowboys.
I was close in two of my picks. I was close in two of them. Unfortunately, I didn't get them. Georgia, if they could have held on, that would have been a huge one. And if Texas would have been able to hold off Oklahoma. I went out on two limbs. I felt like those were the better teams. They showed it for a few quarters but couldn't finish. So I'm not upset with my picks.
We appreciate you trying. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Terry, why don't you start on the 1A?
All righty, into 1A last night, it was Murphy 28, Robbinsville 6. For Murphy, Coach Gentry is on his way back to another state championship, trying to make it number 8 for him. He's already got 7, but he's got 404 victories now. That moves him into second place all time in coaching in North Carolina. It was Pamlico County 16, Rosewood 12, and then in the 1AA, it was East Surrey 44-27.
East
Coach
Surrey
Trent Lohman
is good.
from Bandy's coaching
Absolutely.
up there
Yeah.
now. Is taking them back, and they're going to be matched up against.
How are they the 4 seed, Terry?
I don't know. Number 1 Tarboro,
That'll be,
48-7 win of Eden and Holmes. And Tarboro, well, a lot of people around here remember who Tarboro is. So that's all I got to say.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Hunter, I'll take the 2A. Don't worry about it. Reedsville 24, Brevard 21. That was a back and forth game. Brevard was up by what, 21-10 at one point?
21-10 at one time.
And that's a 2 versus an 8. That was a good game up there in the mountains. In the eastern half of the 2A, Northeastern 47, Southwest Onslow 36. That's a high-scoring game, Terry.
Yeah, and Northeastern, that's one we mentioned yesterday. A
Yeah.
lot of people from the start out east had always said Northeastern was the best team out there, so they're going to have an opportunity to show it coming up.
Moving into the 2AA, Shelby with a revenge victory over High Brighton 28-21. And this was a game that it was, down to the last possession pretty much for not Cherryville, but for Shelby.
Mm-hmm.
And what did we talk about, Terry? Bess had to have a good game, and that's exactly what he did last night.
We sure did, and what a game he put on, especially down the stretch to lead them back down the field. But again, Shelby win number 125 all time in playoffs.
They will be taking on North Davidson after they beat Ledford 24-7. Really no problem for North Davidson in the 2AA East final.
We're going to look over at the 3A bracket. 3A West, that was 3 single A. Charlotte Catholic over Kings Mountain, 30-7. Then in the 3A East, we have Jacksonville over Havelock.
That surprised me,
And that
Terry.
was a big comeback victory for Jacksonville. I know when I was covering the Kings Mountain game at Charlotte Catholic, they were keeping up with the scores and announcing it over to the PA. And when he said Jacksonville over Havelock, that place went wild. That place went wild.
I'm sure.
Then the 3AA West, Weddington over Mount Tabor, 45-12.
Terry, what has gotten into Weddington?
I don't know. I picked them yesterday, didn't I? I think Shannon Allen picked Mount Tabor. I think he did. Anyway.
Well.
But I don't know. When you get into the playoffs, Weddington, we have seen them in the past. I mean, South Point a few years back, they knocked them off, and then, steadily they they have won a state championship. So, you got to be careful here. They're pretty decent.
3AA East, Southeast Guilford over Cleveland, 37-33.
In the 4A bracket, it was Scotland County. No trouble with 71st, 28-0.
Man, you talk about.
Well,
this
is
Scotland
the team
County
that finished 4th in this.
And that's a
conference.
team. The thing that stuck out to me when we were talking about it yesterday, they only had a 5. Their point differential was 5.
Yes.
They had scored 280, given up 275. You come out and beat 71st 28-0. I'm sure people in Scotland County they're going to love driving through Rockingham. They're like, hey, boys, we're still playing football. How you doing over here?
And, for me, from down that way, I'm glad because Richmond's finally proven themselves again to be back up competing. And
even a year where they're basically, I think they were the 1 seed, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
Scotland County as a 10 seed made it all the way to the state championship.
Yeah, for Scotland County, next up for them will be East Forsyth, a 32-14 win over Porter Ridge. Down in the 4AA bracket, it was Vance beating Myers Park 21-13. No matter how many NFL players that you had on that other team, it did not help. Myers Park led this game 13-7, and then Vance scored too late to beat them. And in the bottom bracket, it's always been Wake Forest here lately as they defeat Pine Crest 49-7. Wake Forest is on their way back. And when I look at the championship games coming up, and we can all go over this, you're going to have Murphy against Pamlico County. And, Pamlico County is in the same conference as Tarboro. And the only team they lost to this year was Tarboro. Who do y'all think is going to win this, in Murphy or Pamlico County?
I want to give it to Murphy just because I feel like Murphy will. It's a mountain school. They're going to have ball control. They're going to play physical, and it'll be cold by the time we get wherever they play, whenever they play. Murphy's just too much. I think they're not to short Pamlico County by any means, but Murphy is one of the most well-coached teams in the state, I think. So I got to call Murphy on that one.
I'll take Murphy as well.
And I'm also going with Coach Gentry also up there. I just think leadership and how long you've been there and everything that you learned to him is tradition. So nothing should change. And
we have a Tim Johnson alert.
That's it.
I'm just giving moral support to Terry about our Cowboys.
We'll get to them. We'll get to
Terry's side.
That's right. Speaking of that conference, we talked about the Smoky Mountain, and we went over this yesterday. It's the 9th straight time that they're going to send a team to the state championship game out of that conference.
Brevard won?
No, Murphy.
No, Murphy.
Murphy. Oh, Murphy.
Yeah.
Okay. Did Brevard win?
No.
They got Reedsville beat them 24-21.
Sure did. Down in the 1AA bracket, here you go. Trent Lohman, the former coach at Bandy's, leading his East Surrey team to go play Tarboro. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to take Tarboro, but what do y'all see?
I got to go. Tarboro, the closest game that they've had all year was 21 points. To start the season, they had, 10 straight games of 48 or more. And, their defense plays great, too. Tarboro, you could argue that I know they're 1AA, but they could be one of the best teams in the state, period.
I'm going with East Surrey. I'm going with my former teacher, Trent Lohman.
I understand.
Absolutely.
Over in the 2A bracket, it was Reedsville against Northeastern. This is one of those games that they've said Northeastern should be there, and a lot of people from Reedsville say Reedsville should always be there.
Yeah.
It's Reedsville to me is almost like a Alabama. I don't care how many we lose, we should be playing for the title, But here, this one, I'm going, and I'm going to take what these other people told me. I'm going to take Northeastern to beat Reedsville.
I'm going with you, Terry. Like you said yesterday, a lot of people said it didn't matter if they went 2A or 2AA. They were going to win the state championship, and that means a lot. I'm going Northeastern.
For years, Terry, Shelby and Reedsville played for the state championship, and they would go back and forth. So, absolutely, just an unbelievable football program there in Reedsville.
He's having a lot of thinking today.
Yeah, he is, isn't it?
Is it easy just to go with the 1 seed, Northeastern? I'll just go with the 1 seed. We'll ride high with Northeastern. Give me that hat!
There's no
Elite Corso moment.
I was going to say there's no hat, but whatever.
I'm just glad you're in the parade. But anyway, in the 2AA bracket.
Putting him in the Cat Square parade?
No.
Oh, he should be.
Thank God. Terry, you wouldn't do that to him, would you?
I would. I'd throw him straight into it, man.
Come on, Carson.
He'd love it. That'd be like a pig in mud, man. I swear.
Them's my peoples.
In the 2AA bracket, it'll be Shelby against North Davison. North Davison lost to Ledford earlier in the year, 9-7, but they come back to beat them last night, 24-7. So, guys, I'm not even going to go too far out on the limb. I'm
Shelby
just
all the way.
Shelby
all the way.
I'm taking Shelby. They're riding hot right now, man.
Yeah, I'm going to quote Shannon Allen. They're getting hot at the right time. They are. This is the best they've played all year. And
Take the hot hand. Take the hot hand.
Yeah.
You know, and this is what I was telling them last night when we were talking. Coach Lance Ware comes into this game. This would be win number 99 if he wins this state championship. Win number 99.
Yeah.
But he'll also have 5 rings on that hand.
It's not bad.
And hasn't even got to 100.
Yeah.
You know, to me, that's impressive.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
All right, over in the 3A bracket, we'll have Charlotte Catholic against Jacksonville. To me, no contest. Charlotte Catholic wins.
Charlotte Catholics beat arguably, 2 of the top 5 teams in our area, and it hasn't even really been close in either of those games. It's got to be Catholic.
So you're going to go against a team since
No,
2004.
I'm taking Catholic.
Okay.
But let me tell you something. That offense just was not impressive to me. Defense, very impressive. Offense, I was not impressed at all. But I'm going to take Catholic.
Yeah, we kind of went over this last night. Charlotte Catholic since 2004 is 197-26.
It's not bad.
And then they've been to out of 15 years, they've been to 9 state championships. They've won 4, lost 5, but it's consistently they're going to get there somehow.
Yeah, they got a dominant program, no doubt about that. They remind me a lot of a South Point program kind of style.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right, Terry. State championships, that's what they play for, just like Shelby.
In the 3AA bracket, we're going to have Weddington against Southeast Guilford. I'm just going to stay around the Charlotte area, and I'm going to take Weddington.
Really good football program.
Yeah, I mean, they've been hot. I mean, you come off giving, Watauga their only loss of the season. They beat the 3-seed Mount Tabor pretty easily. I think Weddington's figured something out here late.
I'll take Weddington. I don't mind keeping it around the local areas.
Well, we appreciate that.
Hey, bring all the hardware back home to the western part of North Carolina. Bring all the hardware to western North Carolina.
In the 4A bracket, it will be Scotland County going against East Forsyth. It's kind of hard for me. Scotland County, you've had a great year. You've made the championship. You finished 4th in your conference. You put a lot of things online. Don't get me wrong. You have been here before, but I think East Forsyth's going to win this one.
I'm going Scotland. I think they're a lot like
nothing wrong with that.
A lot like Shelby, a lot like Weddington.
Hot at the right time.
They're hot at the right time, man. I mean, the point differential sort of scared me when we were looking at the numbers yesterday. But I mean, you go out and you beat 71st 28-0. And this is, your regional final. They don't really have a problem with it. I got to stay with Scotland. They figured something out.
Bring it to the west, East Forsyth.
Okay, and then in the I know in the 4, whatever that meant, I have no idea.
It means bring the hardware home to the west. Bring it back to
Winston-Salem.
Yeah, if you're in the western bracket, just know I'm picking you now.
All righty. And for AA bracket, it will be Vance making their trip to play Wake Forest, y'all. And I think this will be the worst game that you can see. Wake Forest scores all they want.
It's the worst game if you're with Vance.
Yeah.
Wake Forest they're the best team in North Carolina.
This one is not coming west. It's going east.
No, it's staying right around Raleigh and Wake Forest. That's not even. I think that's the easiest pick, to be quite honest.
And I will say this, we've seen at the start of the year when we had our rankings in the nation and in North Carolina, Wake Forest has always led North Carolina this year, but they have moved up. They started the year at number 9. They are number 3 right now in the poll for the most wins. So
that's impressive.
Steadily moving up.
All right, well, got to get into a little. Or we got a break.
Yeah,
we got a break.
We got to pay somebody.
The Invisible Man, aka Camo JP, says we got to take a break. So we will be right back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk, only on KTC Broadcasting.
Join KTC Broadcasting for the live Abernathy Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram broadcast of the Cat Square Christmas Parade this Saturday with coverage beginning at 1:45 p.m. The parade will begin at 2 p.m. Our broadcast this year is brought to you by Abernathy Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Lincolnton, by Jackie Dameron Farm Bureau Insurance of Lincolnton, by Full Throttle Power Sports of Lowell, by Carolina Trust Bank of Lincoln, by Turner Hauser Insurance of Lincolnton, by Ronaldo Auto Mall in Shelby, by West End Sales in Vale, by Mitchem's Kitchen in Vale, by First Federal Savings Bank of Lincoln and Boger City in Vale, by Auto Parts U-Pull in Shelby, by Mr. Sparky Wise Electric of Cherryville, and by Parker Farm Service in Kings Mountain. Don't miss this year's Abernathy Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram broadcast of the Cat Square Christmas Parade on ktcbroadcasting.com or go to YouTube and search Cherryville Christmas Parade.
Because of the weather situation, the Cat Square Christmas Parade has been moved up to 1 o'clock. Again, the Cat Square Christmas Parade is now scheduled to start at 1 p.m. Be sure to join us and watch it live on ktcbroadcasting.com.
Country Gold with Terry Clark. I'm Terry Clark, inviting you to join me this week for Country Gold, where we play all your favorites from the 80s and 90s.
Country Go with Terry Clark, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Every morning is different for everybody. Nate gets up for the early shift, while Brad is just getting home from the night shift. Pam runs a PR and a 5K, while Drew runs late to work. Beth proposes a road trip to her boyfriend, while Mark proposes to his girlfriend. Luckily, there's a McDonald's for every morning.
Start your morning with a rich, smooth, and freshly brewed McCafe coffee. And now, get any size for just $1 at McDonald's. Limited time offer. Price of participation may vary. A la carte only.
It's time now for the news. A new radio show is taking the nation by storm. It's called This is the 60s, with the best music from the best decade. And, well, thank you. Who are you? Well, I'm J.J. Wilson, and I'm the host of This is the 60s. This is the 60s, with the best music from the best decade. News headlines, pop culture corner, and more.
But I was going to say all that.
Get out of my news booth, certainly.
This is the 60s, Friday mornings from 10 a.m. till 12 noon on the Balls, WOHS, AM and FM in Shelby, WLON in Lincolnton. Ronaldo Auto Mall in Shelby, in cooperation with the local Salvation Army of Shelby, wants to help make this Christmas a little brighter for children in our area. Now through December 22nd, we're asking you to drop off an unwrapped toy and put it in the bed of the GMC Sierra truck in the Ronaldo Auto Mall showroom. The toys will be distributed to underprivileged children in our area. Plus, if you'd like to make a donation, a Salvation Army kettle will be available as well. Drop your unwrapped toy off today at Ronaldo Auto Mall, 4423 Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, right below the Cleveland Mall. And buy a vehicle at Ronaldo Auto Mall from now through December 22nd and receive a free smoked ham from Morris Supermarket in Shelby.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Wednesday morning from 11 to 12 for the Golf Shop Radio Show. Hosts Mark Greenhelge and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop.
Good basketball games on in December. We know that. Welcome back to Saturday Morning Sports Talk. Carson Dockery, Tim Johnson, Hunter Yancey, Texas Terry Reinhardt. And, guys, we talked about high school football. Terry's already wagging his finger. Go ahead,
Terry wags it.
Terry, you got to pick it up so the camera can see
There's
it.
important things to be said.
He is not a crook. He is not a crook. Hey, what they always told Bill Clinton, don't do this. It's too aggressive. Pull it in. Pull it in.
Yeah. Yesterday in South Carolina, they had their state championships on account of the weather and everything coming in.
Chester won.
Here's the
in the 1A bracket, Green Seas Floyds beat Lamar 26-20.
Green Seas like the
ocean
seas.
In the 2A bracket, it was Abbeville 48, Barnwell 14. In the 3A bracket, Chester defeated Dillon 34-28.
Oh man!
In the 4A bracket, Myrtle Beach beat Greer 34-21. And then in the Big 16, the big bracket, it was Dutch Fork having no trouble with T.L. Hanna 59-20. And the only thing I'm going to say about that Dutch Fork team, the closest game they had this year was 33 points.
Hey, don't look now. Somebody went and classed Hunter up. If you watch it online on YouTube, they put a Browns hat on him and no more Redskins gear. Looking good over. I tell you what, Hunter.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Kevin. This is going to excite you. I have a long sleeve that came in. It's got Baker Mayfield's face right
I guess
here.
if you get used to losing, you just pick up anything with a losing team.
Let me tell you something, Terry.
Oh,
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something, Terry.
Let me tell you something, Terry.
Damn,
Hunter, how old are you, Hunter?
Huh?
How old are you?
I'm good. How are you?
How old are you?
Oh, I'm 22.
I'm good. How are you?
I thought you said.
How are you?
I thought you said.
Terry,
I'm listening.
since Hunter's been alive, the Browns have the same number of Super Bowls as the Cowboys.
Yeah, boy.
You are correct, but if you go by total wins, that's not even close.
That's right.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Since Hunter's
If
been
it
allowed,
don't
the
end
Rams have
in a
more Super Bowls
championship,
than the
then what
Cowboys.
good was the
The
season?
only thing I would say, okay, here you go.
Yeah.
If you're so definitely and y'all like that Cleveland team, I would guarantee if you go back out of the last 25 years, they finished dead last 21 of them.
That's about right.
Terry, why are you bringing up every stat ESPN wants to talk about?
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, they just love throwing that around. Oh, this Browns team's going to turn around. They've been dead last for so many years.
Thompson.
College basketball.
Yeah. We'll
College
get to that.
I figured we'd already be changing
We'll get to
this.
that. But we're going to talk about a little bit of CBB, a little bit of college basketball.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about some college basketball. Obviously, we got Duke on today, this afternoon, late this afternoon.
Who are they playing?
Yale.
I think they play Union Elementary.
I'm telling you, and they showed them play some high school.
Carson, real quick,
ESPN.
Rob Rube called the post-game show last night to make sure everybody he bragged on Zion and for everybody to watch him today. He didn't mention 1 second who they play.
Yeah.
And hung up and never mentioned who they play, and then we had to look it up and find out.
At least I knew.
Let me tell you something.
They're going through the Ivy League gambit. They're playing Yale, then they play Princeton on Tuesday.
I don't want to hear this. You know what this is? ESPN trying to sell Zion. That's exactly what we already know how great of a player he is. I would take him number one in a heartbeat, but I don't want to see a 54-point blowout.
Did you see that come out yesterday when they said the top three freshmen to be 1, 2, and 3?
Well, I don't blame him.
That's right off the bat. They already
Them
said
boys
that.
is good.
Yeah, they're good.
I'm agree, and here's my point.
Zion is special.
Carson, you can reply back, but when I have watched Duke play, and this is me, for help coach basketball and everything. This team backs up. They want offensive rebounds so they can go. I'm with that. They can score. They probably can score with anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about anybody in college basketball. But they do not play that much defense. People talk about Williamson being so great. Yeah, he's a rim protector, but on offensive rebounds, the other team's getting a lot of rebounds and sticking them back in. That's what happened against Gonzaga. Gonzaga beat them there.
God, don't remind me.
They did. And plus Gonzaga
They beat
had
them inside.
they did.
Yeah, they did.
And then we talk about Williamson. He probably had his shot blocked in that game 5 or 6 times.
But I will say this about that game. R.J. Barrett cost Duke that game. Tried to go superhero mode with the last 5 or 6 shots and missed every single one of them.
Here's another thing, too, and I'm going to mention about that game.
Don't get me started on R.J. Barrett.
Duke come back to make the game close.
Yeah.
But that game never was close. Gonzaga led by 8 to 17 points for probably 30 minutes
They
out of the
controlled
whole
the game
game.
more
They
like
did.
it,
They
yeah.
controlled the whole game.
I don't think Duke wins the national championship this year unless the team, like you said, plays as a team. They play hero ball right now, baby. That's what they do. They're either giving it to RJ or they're giving it to Zion and say, hey, you need to go out there and drop maybe 30, 35 apiece.
It's December the 8th. You've got a lot of time for that team to come in.
And
And
what
really,
I'm saying, they won't win the championship if they do not buy into the team that Coach K wants them to play as. Just think about all the other great Duke teams that they've had where they don't win it because they don't buy in.
The way I think Duke gets better and the way that I think that they would play their best basketball is if they turn into just they cause a lot of turnovers because then they get out in transition. Nobody's keeping up with Duke in transition. They're not.
No.
You're not scoring like Duke in transition. You can't stop them defensively on transition.
Yeah, they're the Lakers of the college basketball.
They are.
Now they are.
They're
Showtime.
and the fact that Coach K was the national
30 for 30 about this.
Yeah, we will.
Well, the problem I have when I'm looking at this is they want to put Duke up there. Don't get me wrong. I'm never saying they're not good. They are good.
Yeah, they're really good.
They're dang good.
But the top 3 teams in college basketball, to me, Kansas right now has been shafted. They were number 1 at the start of the year. Duke blows out Kentucky, and they jump clean over them to number 1. Kansas stays at number 2, and then all of a sudden here's Gonzaga who wins. Well, they jump over Kansas all the way to number 1. The top 3 teams should be Kansas, then Gonzaga, then Michigan. Then Duke maybe can come in at number 4.
I'll say this, that Michigan defense, because
Michigan's
made me
good.
so mad playing in North Carolina. North Carolina gave up. I'll admit it. North Carolina gave up. I was so mad with those starters. But I'll say this, that defense, the Michigan defense made them give up.
It sounds like what Terry's trying to say is that a Michigan team is balanced on both sides of the basketball, defense and offense.
Well, Duke is
not. Duke is
Not
a
yet,
offensive explosion. Top of basketball. If you make mistakes,
well,
they'll
that's
get
all
you
that
in
anybody
transition.
wants to talk about.
Yeah,
with any of these guys is they're so
They want to see them
offensively
done.
talented.
That's what they're after. Let's go.
Well, that's NBA basketball.
Yeah, it
You know
is.
what
It
I'm
is
saying?
today,
And,
yes.
and that's what Mike Krzyzewski, coach of Duke, is what he's did. He's taken the NBA and he's putting it at Duke.
Yeah.
So, but does that, to me, Terry, what you're trying to say is championships is built around team.
It is, and veteran leadership.
Absolutely. They don't have that. They don't have
Duke
that.
in game 1 against Gonzaga.
Yes. Yeah. Kentucky won't have that either.
No.
They're one and done.
No.
Duke's one and done. But team like Carolina, team like I guess say Michigan, they have that leadership.
I think the other thing that people forget about Michigan, John Beilein's one of the best coaches in college.
Oh, he's a great coach.
He's a great recruiter. He's a great coach. They've gone to how many national championships with him? 2 or 3 at this point.
They were there last year.
They were there last year. They were there a couple of years ago against Louisville.
Beilein came from West Virginia. Is that correct?
I want to think. I think that's.
I think that's where he came from.
Yeah. They're going to learn a lot about Duke coming up because everybody kept saying they might go undefeated. Well, that's not.
I never know.
You're playing the ACC. You're going to have to go to Virginia.
Why I said there's no way they go
Virginia
undefeated.
Cavaliers is going to say something about that.
Florida State is a tough place for Duke to go play.
Yeah.
NC State's proven that in the last couple of years.
NC State's going to be a big place to play.
Yes.
We're going to see if these freshmen are going to like playing in North Carolina. Big rivalry.
All of those first ACC road games is what's going to tell you a lot about Duke because a lot of these, like you said, there's a lot of freshmen. There's there's holdovers. There's Marcus Bolden. There's Javin DeLaurier. There's not like it's all freshmen, but the guys that you lean on are freshmen, and it'll be interesting to see when you go to State the first time, when you go to Virginia the first time, when you go to Florida State, much less Carolina.
I'm with you on that because I'm wondering what Duke goes to when these guys all of a sudden, they're freshmen or tenant. Don't get me wrong, they're not. I think Barrett and Williamson think they've been in college basketball for 40 years. But, they do. That's just how they are. But
let's be honest. They're men amongst boys right
What
now.
happens when they go to a place and you need a veteran leadership? Who from Duke steps up for it?
Well, I think you saw the other week in the Maui Invitational, Marcus Bolden had a big game, and he's a sophomore. DeLaurier's a junior at this point. And honestly, I would rather have that senior, well, not senior, but that little bit more of experience in the front court as opposed to the back court, because that's what those two guys are. Those are. Marcus Bolden's the starting center, but him and DeLaurier basically play the same amount of minutes.
Guys, back in the 90s when Duke won all their national championships.
Oh yeah, it was seniors.
What did they win it with besides seniors? What did they win it with, Terry? Defense.
Yeah,
they were not an
and this
offensive
team backs up.
It's different now.
It's a different era now.
Well, what I'm saying is
they
don't have the defense they had before.
They do not. I'm used to a Duke team hitting the floor and getting it all up in your face. When I saw them playing Gonzaga, they was out there. They were playing defense, but as Gonzaga started coming down the court, they were backing up.
Yeah,
Duke.
The last time Duke won a national championship, they had a good defensive team. They had leadership too, senior leadership.
Yeah,
they don't have that.
Duke today.
They don't have that
against Yale. It's a 24-point favorite.
And they should win easily.
Yeah, they should win by 34.
There's another thing
are
I
you
will say
taking
about
Duke?
Duke.
You taking Duke or you taking Yale on the points? You taking Duke or you taking Yale?
I'm taking Duke.
Yeah,
I would take Duke in a heartbeat because let me see, where's it at?
It's Duke.
It's at Duke.
Yeah, it's at Duke. Every game Duke plays is at Duke.
That's true.
Well,
fan support.
What's so funny is whenever they have huge fan support, and think about it when they go and played the ACC tournament up in New York. They were Duke fans everywhere.
They were.
Duke has a more national following than State or any other team in the ACC. Outside Carolina's the only team that has anything close to the following that Duke does nationally.
Yeah,
in the ACC, yes.
Yeah,
in the ACC, yes. But that's what happens when university are national champions. Come on.
I tell you, Florida State's got some athletes.
They do.
They've got a really good basketball.
And you've got one of the best coach. Yeah,
you got a great coach.
Yeah.
And he preaches defense.
Yeah.
He preaches defense.
Speaking of ACC, Miami. Now I've seen where they've lost 4 straight.
Well,
They
Miami
5-0.
Miami, a couple years ago, they had all those guys that were like 27-28 on the team,
Yeah.
and that was really, I don't want to say
veteran leadership.
And it did something for him. No, it did.
I mean, it sounds like there's something reoccurring. It's like a pattern.
Yeah.
Are you picking up what we're putting down here? It's like a
Yeah.
pattern.
All right, well, let's go over the slate of games for today. I'll start with.
Can we just do like 5 or 6 of them?
Yeah. I got
Okay, that's all. I mean, there's a lot,
Well,
but there are
well,
some games, like
yeah.
you said, it's December. None of them are
Well,
really.
yeah, we'll get the, all the top 10s, and we'll
I don't
start.
want to pick the Duke Yale game because
we're not. We don't have to. Don't worry.
'Cause I'm
Duke-
picking Yale,
We already
okay?
We already
picking
did, and we
Yale.
know Duke's winning.
God.
We'll start in Michigan. John Beeline, South Carolina travels up there today at 12 o'clock. Who you guys got?
Michigan all the way.
No
That's no
doubt.
contest.
I mean, there's no.
Yeah.
I'm taking Michigan, but here's the thing: what has happened to South Carolina? They had that great run 2 years
Senior
ago.
leadership, and then everybody leaves.
I mean, what is up? I like the coach. What's his name
Frank
again?
Martin.
Frank. I was about to say, I know his first name's Frank. I wanted to say Sinatra, but it's Frank Martin.
I mean, I don't like how that goes. I would be scared when that dude looked at me wrong.
I like Frank Martin when he was at Kansas State. When Frank Martin was at Kansas State, and all he would do is if the camera caught Frank Martin looking at him, I got scared. I was like,
yeah, that's me.
You don't want to make him
Is he
gonna play hard for him.
Is he gonna chew? Is he chewing me out right now through the camera? Does he know that I'm just sitting here not paying attention?
All right, next game we got Kentucky at Seton Hall, so that'll be a good away test for the Wildcats.
Who is Seton Hall's
CBS, I
coach
believe.
right now? Didn't they just hire someone that was a big name as their head coach at Seton Hall?
You got to take Kentucky.
No,
on
that was
Yeah,
St.
Kentucky.
John's. That was
Yeah.
St. John's.
Yeah, they got Chris Mullen.
They got Chris
Yeah.
Mullen. That's exactly. Yeah. Where's
Oh,
it at?
let's see.
It's
Chris
at Seton
Mullen.
Hall. It's in New
It's
Jersey.
at Seton Hall.
It's in New Jersey.
Seton Hall likes to fly under the radar till
They
about
do.
tournament time.
Mhm.
But I think Kentucky's going to be
Yeah,
Kentucky's got too much
today.
to really, yeah.
Today, maybe later in the season if they matched up, I would take Seton Hall. But I'm going to take Kentucky.
All right, got a good matchup. It's not a top 25 matchup, but it's a good one. Number 10, Michigan State at Florida.
Ooh, that's a good one there.
That is.
Florida.
That's
There's-
at Florida. I'll take
It's
the
at
Gators.
Florida.
Give me the Gators.
Yeah, I want to go Florida. I
Not
mean,
so fast.
Give me the Gators.
yeah, I'm not sold on Michigan State. Obviously Tom Izzo is.
I'm about to say,
a
I'm
really
not,
good coach.
I'm not,
He's a
I'm
great
not
coach.
betting
Yeah.
against Izzo. I'm not betting against Izzo.
Now, there's a coach right
You
there,
take
guys.
Michigan State. That's
take
who I
Michigan
take.
State.
There's a guy right there, Tom Izzo. He believes in the seniors' leadership.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, year in, year out. I mean, Michigan
Yep.
State is one of those teams. I mean, they are a Duke, a Carolina.
Terry-
They're a team that we expect a lot out of.
Terry, do you want a real piece of paper instead of
this
that?
is
Well,
good.
he's
As long as
already
I can read
halfway
it.
there
As
now.
long as I can read it.
All right, Terry, your Kansas Jayhawks host New Mexico State.
That's not even.
That's
fun.
easy.
Well,
Kansas
New
all the
Mexico
way.
State is 7-1.
Go ahead and take New Mexico State.
I'm not gonna take New Mexico State.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you what. I'm stupid. I ain't that stupid. Okay.
All right,
I'm taking
got
Kansas.
one more game before we go to
Did you
break.
take Kansas?
Yeah, Kansas.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, don't. Come on. One more game, one more top 10 match, or not a top 10 matchup, but one more top 10 team in play. Number 8, Auburn hosts Dayton. This will be a good game. Dayton is a pretty good program.
I haven't
I'll take
watched-
Auburn.
Yeah, but yeah, I got
Auburn.
It's at Auburn.
If it's
Yeah,
at Auburn, I'm
there's a
taking
problem.
them.
Yeah.
I'm taking them.
If I was
But
playing at Dayton, I might have went the other way.
I was about to say, because Dayton, like how Seton Hall is one of those teams come tournament time.
They get hot.
You're
Yeah.
talking about them.
Yeah, they win 4 in a row, win their
but-
conference championship.
But we
and then
got to
they go on a
remember,
run.
it's early December college basketball. Ain't no real huge
You gotta have one more.
games.
You got one more?
One more. I
let's-
had
let's-
one. Here we go.
Just pull one out of a hat.
We got Florida State hosting UConn. That'll be a good game.
Ooh, that will be good.
Who is
Give me Florida State.
coach now? It's not
Danny Hurley.
I was about to say it's not Kevin Ollie.
Florida
anymore.
State.
Florida State. Yeah, I got
I'll
to
take
Florida State.
Florida State. That defense is real good. Real good.
All right. Well, that'll take us to another commercial break. We'll be right back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk, only on KTC Broadcasting.
Due to the inclement weather predicted for Sunday, the live radio remote broadcast at the Mountain View Farm Event Barn has been canceled for this Sunday and will be rescheduled in the spring. Please stay tuned for the future announcements. We apologize for the inconvenience and please contact the Mountain View Farm Event Barn for your future events.
It's game day. The energy pulsates through the arena. Adrenaline pumps. Tension heightens. Anticipation peaks. The crowd rises. It's finally time. The whistle blows and the ball goes up. Don't blink.
Pulls up for the tie. Yes, sir. 4.1 to go.
Game day lives here on the Tar Heel Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
Is the cost of ink driving your profits down? Then listen up. Discount Ink Jet and Toner is here to help. Discount Ink Jet and Toner specializes in refilling ink jet and toner cartridges. Cut your ink costs by as much as 50% or more. Discount Ink Jet and Toner, located on 410 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. 100% satisfaction guaranteed.
It's time to play at the Green Meadows Golf Course on Kelly Road in Mount Holly. Play and ride Monday through Friday for $25. Weekends just $30. Seniors ride and play Monday through Friday for $20. And every Wednesday is Ladies' Day. Ladies play and ride for just $15. So make your tee time now by calling the Green Meadows Golf Course, 704-827-9264. Green Meadows Golf Course, 957 Kelly Road in Mount Holly. Join us every Sunday at 11 a.m. for our Sunday morning worship services. On WCSL 1590 AM and 92.3 FM, it's the Sunday morning service of First Baptist Church in Cherryville. On WLON 1050 AM and 107.5 FM, it's the Sunday service of the Covenant Bible Church in Lincolnton. And on WOHS 1390 AM and 101.5 FM, it's the Sunday service of the Calvary Baptist Church of Shelby. Join us each and every Sunday morning for our Sunday morning worship services on The Boss and Carolina Country.
It's the 30th anniversary of NBA basketball in Charlotte, and the Hornets are writing the latest chapter in Charlotte basketball history with their first-year head coach, James Borrego. Fast-paced and high-flying. Join the new voice of Charlotte Hornets basketball, Chris Kroger, and 10-year NBA veteran Matt Carroll as they deliver every thrilling moment of Hornets hoops all season long on the Charlotte Hornets Radio Network.
There's Charlotte Hornet basketball right here on the Boss in Carolina Country. WHS, WCSL, and WLON. Online at kdcbroadcasting.com.
Well,
yeah, they have a better record than
It's been a busy morning. You can talk right into that.
Barely.
Tim, if you want. Yeah. Terry talks in his.
Okay, well,
And Wolf's back.
Yeah.
Kevin, do you want this back?
You sound a lot better if you talk.
No, you look great in it. I'm so
I'm
proud.
just saying. I mean, I'll rock my 704 hat.
It's 10 times
Shout
better.
out to
I see what you're
Charlotte.
saying. 10 times better than any maroon or burgundy.
I'm just
I don't
saying.
even know what you guys' colors are. Or I don't know. I want to welcome back everybody to Sports Talk. I've been down the hall getting ready for the Cat Square and Cherryville Christmas parades, folks. They're coming up today. Watch on YouTube. They're not on the radio. Get it? Parade on the radio.
There it is.
Not going to have it. We're going to have that on YouTube.
We've
done it before.
I would hope
Terry,
you said watch on YouTube and not watch on
this.
the radio.
What's this? Didn't we used to do the fireworks in Lincoln on the radio?
Yes.
Well, you can hear fireworks. You can't hear somebody. And look at that wave.
You just mic up the mortars.
And there comes the mayor of Cat Square. Look at that
That's
wave.
what it is. Tim, have you ever been the mayor of Cat Square?
That's a negative. That's a negative.
Tim's
But I'm going to vote for Terry Reinhardt.
Vote for Terry.
We're trying to say he's
2019, vote for Terry.
I live near Cat Square.
They said Terry's got to move closer. He's not qualified
That's
right
right.
now.
Hey, Tom Sain's the mayor. Is
That's
that right?
it. Yeah,
Is that
sure
correct?
is.
That's what I heard.
That's
Yeah.
what we're talking about
Sure
today. He's the mayor of today.
Tom's the best. I'm telling. He's a good man.
Are we about to talk football and have
We
the
are in
Cat
just a
Square
second.
parade just playing in the
Yeah, that's
background?
exactly what we're going to do, too.
Look at Cat. No, it's not the same.
That's us. I'm fat on the cat. That's what the shirt
No,
says.
I'm talking about the three other
That's a
ones. Talking about
in
a Cat Square
trick.
trick.
It's-
I'm like,
that's not
I don't want to
that's
see
not the
that.
parade. Real quick, I want to mention this. We do a Scholar Athlete of the Month every month here on KTC Broadcasting, and we jump from school to school, and some of these kids, they fill out this information, and look how many pages I'm filling out that I'm flipping through. This is one kid's Scholar Athlete of the Month information.
Man, he wants it.
Oh, he's got it, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, he does.
So, just for some of the things I wanted to go through, I want to mention him. Caleb Estridge of Kings Mountain. This is just this is outstanding resume. And Dad was like, "Man, this kid's smart. Has he time to do anything?" I started looking at his college and career plans. NC State University.
Congratulations, you're a very bright young man.
I didn't even say what he's going to major in, Terry.
I don't care.
He's smart.
He's already picked the right place.
He wants to dual major in chemical engineering and paper science engineering. So that's a kid that knows what he wants to be.
Yeah.
Carson, when you were 17 years old.
I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Man,
Carson,
I'm 22 and
I was
I'm
about to say,
still
Hunter,
just out here
you're
doing it.
22.
Yeah. Man, hey.
Would you like to be a chemical engineering? 4.46 GPA.
Paper science.
What is paper science? Origami?
Here's his sports.
He sounds like Michael Scott is what he sounds like.
Here's his sports. Cross country is his major sport. Here's his additional sports, guys. Indoor and outdoor track and pole vault.
Oh, so he's a...
So yeah,
Track and field.
He's got
tracky.
the 4.46 GPA can pole vault. So just
pretty neat.
He's part of the track team. Track and field.
So we feature them in these athletes in the WhatsApp shopper every month, folks. Check them out. Like I said, Caleb there from Kings Mountain. Just kind of want to give you an idea of kind of things that we like to put in the paper. And I ain't got enough room. I'm gonna have to buy it, sell a couple of extra ads to put on his accomplishments. This right here I read Wednesday. I'm gonna give it to Terry to look over and take home because Tim's son doesn't believe anything before 2000 it happened. So we have to explain to him on Wednesdays sometimes.
Yeah, I didn't mean this past Wednesday, but we're sitting there and all of a sudden I'm listening to this and I'm like, where's the defense? We was talking all offense, and I'm like, come on, guys.
I need help, man. You know? Terry's texting me, and I'm saying,
I'm sending one right after another. Like, man.
Sal Palantonio, one of our favorite writers and reporters online, wrote an article a couple years back about Barry Sanders being overrated, and I agreed with him, and he's saying a lot of the same points I did.
I've seen the same thing. Barry Sanders overrated, and the numbers. I mean, it makes sense.
I'm gonna give this to Terry to take home with him for so he can talk to his people when they throw him some stuff. So I just want to lead in with just some fun stuff about this. Let's see, Sanders in one touchdown for every 35 touches during the regular season. Pretty nasty. In the postseason, it turned into one touchdown every 112 touches. His only career playoff touchdown, the Lions were up 31-6 on Dallas when he broke out for a touchdown, 47-yard touchdown run.
They were up 31-6 on who?
Dallas.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
Just having a down year.
The only postseason game the Lions...
Real down year. You lose to Detroit in the playoffs.
That is the only postseason game the Lions have ever won, I think.
Yeah.
The only... Man, Terry. Is that on the mantle? Is that on the mantle in Dallas?
The following week, Hunter, they went to Washington outside of the Silver Dome.
Yeah.
And got hammered 41-10.
God, imagine that. Sure.
Sanders' postseason performance proves the notion that he was a product of the cozy, climate-controlled Silverdome. Remember, these are Sal Palantonio's words, not mine. Nice carpet for easy, stop on the dime maneuvering, 72 degrees. Detroit faithful in the keeping the defensive line with a high decibel support. You know, Sal Palantonio, you get me a little excited there. In 4 career postseason outdoor games, Barry Sanders averaged 2.8 yards a carry. He never scored a single touchdown, and he never ran for more than 65 yards in a single play. With Sanders, the Lions went 0-4 in outdoor playoff games, losing by an average of 17 points a game.
So we're basically saying he's trash.
Wait, that's funny you say that. The very next sentence, Sal Palantonio says, nobody's suggesting that he's a bust.
Yeah. He's making the case for it.
He shouldn't be in canon. You know, he lists the 15,000 yards and the 10 straight 1,000 yards.
I mean, we can at least say he was probably one of the greatest college running backs of all time.
That's where we're getting at. So shared the MVP with Brett Favre that year. So then he breaks down some of the numbers. Look at the playoff game in Lambeau. That was the season. You know, he got 2,000 yards. He averaged 5.7 yards per carry that season. And in the first round of the playoffs, though, in Lambeau on the frozen tundra, 13 carries, -1 yard.
Oof.
Outside, 13 carries, -1 yard. He had 4 catches that day, guys, so he helped out in the passing game. He had 4 yards. So he had 16 touches, a grand total of 3 yards in that game.
Do it for Dale.
Now, here's where we start talking about when Tim and them the other day talking about, and of course Addison starts bringing out, well, Dallas has better wide receivers and line and all this other stuff. Oh, well, so Sal Powell touches a little bit about that. Don't let us forget about Herman Moore and Brett Perryman. And I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. Herman Moore had 100 catches like 4 straight years. He was the all-time leader in the season catches at some point during this stretch. The line stretched the field for Barry Sanders, especially in the Dome. This helped him be widely successful in the regular season. In the years when Lions went to the playoffs, their defense was middle of the pack. Not bad. 11th, 15th, 19th, 14th, and 10th in the playoffs. There's another ugly scar on Sanders' career, he says, after when he abruptly retired. At the time, he was 1,400 yards shy of Walter Payton. And he said he didn't know anybody apology or any explanations. And Sal says that's bunk, and he really needed to talk about it. But kind of get down to the 5 leading rushers in NFL history. Barry Sanders is the only one that never reached the Super Bowl. Emmitt Smith, Walter Payton, Curtis Martin, and Jerome Bettis. Emmitt, of course, is the only one that led the league in rushing, was the Super Bowl MVP and the NFL MVP, and won all of those. Won the Super Bowl, but Curtis Martin, of course,
he was pretty good.
Okay,
yeah, he was pretty good.
So, just a little information for those folks that might not know about some of the Barry Sanders stuff.
You know, Kevin, I want to touch on something there about Sanders. Sanders was a great running back, no doubt about it. Everybody knows that, Hall of Famer. But one thing about Emmitt Smith was they said that he was real slow coming out of college, out of the University of Florida. And Terry, tell me something, Terry. Did you ever see, now you're a Cowboys fan like I am, did you ever see anybody catch Emmitt Smith from behind?
No. And I'm going to tell you something else about the guy that I like.
Yeah, football speed.
Yeah, and when I go back to it, is when they was playing the Giants, he broke his collarbone.
Yeah.
And he never come out.
Never.
He
had
stayed
221 yards
in the
rushing.
game. His offensive lineman was coming over to help him up.
Do y'all remember the play of the game in that game? See if y'all can remember it. I remember why it was the play of the game and he was hurt. I don't think y'all will, but if one of the last few plays of the game, Emmitt had the broken collarbone. Remember, they ran a play action pass to Emmitt. Emmitt with a broken collarbone, jumped over the line into the end zone without a football and landed on his head and shoulders.
Yeah,
completely ran the fake out, jumped over the linemen were still standing up. Because it was a pass, and Avon went play action rollout.
Hit Johnston.
You got this guy with a broken collarbone jumping over these linemen and landing on his head in the end zone to carry out a fake.
Yeah.
And that was the play of the game in that game.
That's why when I sit back and people say about running backs, I'm like, Emmitt, it's simple. When I see stuff like that and a guy, now, man, you pinky your finger and you say, I got to come out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
stay
stay
didn't play this year because he didn't want to get hit too many times.
You know,
at running back.
And ladies and gentlemen, there is your history lesson.
Well, Emmitt can not only run the football.
Today's NFL.
He can block. Block.
That was the thing. Sal Powell, and a couple other points he made. Barry came out on third down because he couldn't catch or block. His catch percentage was like 65%. Emmitt's was like 85%. Just a bunch of little stuff like that. When nobody's saying Emmitt, I mean Barry is
this
good.
Day in history.
And he also talked about the replacement of the. When people say, well, if they switch lines to this, they both had one Hall of Fame lineman on the team.
Larry Allen.
Without anyone tried, can anyone else at this table name me? Actually, Larry Allen didn't join the Cowboys till Emmitt had already led the league in 3 years rushing against Barry Sanders. So Larry didn't join until after 2 Super Bowls and that. So the first Super Bowl is the best lineman was Nate Newton and Eric Williams and Mark Tuinay. And
Stepnoski, he was
Lomas Brown was there the whole time for them. So it's I talk with the boys about fake news all the time with the ESPN. Hunter knows that. Who knows what they're gonna say? Who's good?
I
who's
can't
bad
stand
today.
that network.
All right, so let's go.
Don't get me started.
Now, after all that, I had a little fun with that. Carson.
Yeah.
Who is the best team in Los Angeles?
I don't know. Probably the one that's 10-1.
No, Terry. Who is the best team in Los Angeles?
I'm gonna have to go with my main man, Phillip Rivers.
I would too. Chargers. Yeah.
Hunter. Who is the best team in Los Angeles?
Give me the Bolts. Taking the Chargers.
I'm telling you, Chargers. I'm telling you, I've been saying that all year long.
Derwin James, defensive rookie of the year.
So for the note, 3 of the 5 people at this table have the 5 seed in the AFC over the 1 seed in the NFC. Carson, how about them Rams?
Oh man, well they're 10-1. They're the number 1 seed in the NFC
for now.
Have the quarterback with the most passing yards, the wide receiver with the most receiving yards,
for now.
Running back with the most rushing yards and the most touchdowns.
Now I can't knock that.
You've got
back.
possibly the MVP in Aaron Donald, probably one of the best defensive linemen on a team that has historically some of the best defensive linemen ever.
Did you just put Aaron Donald?
He's really good.
Put Aaron Donald and MVP in the same one?
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Acting like Patrick Mahomes is not sitting right
acting
there.
like he didn't strip sack Patrick Mahomes, and then Abucom returned it.
Fastest
returns.
quarterback to 40 touchdowns.
Well, Aaron Donald stripped him, and the Rams picked up one, so that's not bad. I appreciate that
Aaron
one.
Donald ain't even better than Khalil Mack.
Oh, boy.
Did you like what Belichick said about Khalil Mack? Somebody put him in the same breath as
Lawrence Taylor.
Did you believe that, Terry? Did you know what Belichick said?
I'll sit here and I'll say
he's good.
He's
not that good.
He's not that good.
I'll say Khalil Mack's better than Lawrence Taylor.
I try to tell people.
I'll say Khalil Mack's better than Lawrence Taylor.
Are you out of
I'm not out of my.
Let me explain it to the young
He's
kids.
never seen him.
I've seen Lawrence Taylor highlights.
Here's the
Okay,
thing,
Terry, he's been hanging around
Take
you.
the best football player you've ever seen play linebacker.
Khalil Mack right now.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay.
Khalil Mack is the most dominant linebacker.
Now have him before the game. Go in the locker room and snort 5 lines of coke. Do some roids and then come out of that field, and that's Lawrence Taylor.
I'm telling you.
And he stayed up all night. And he stayed up all night partying,
They want to
dancing.
make the same. They want to make the same excuse for LeBron. Well, I can't make the same excuse for LeBron in the NFL
Michael Jordan's
or
the
in the
greatest basketball
NBA.
player ever.
I agree with
Hands
that.
down.
But I'm gonna say this: in football, the offensive linemen today are more athletic than they were when Lawrence Taylor played.
Let me tell you something.
man.
Don't act like they weren't.
Listen here. Lawrence Taylor, listen, you know how they game plan for offense and defense?
Yes.
Lawrence Taylor invented that on defense.
Well, they have the game plan today for Khalil Mack.
Listen, he was the reason why that Joe Gibbs didn't win more Super Bowls.
He is
Joe
the
Gibbs is more
reason
interested in coming
I'm
down here
just
for
being
stock
honest with
car
you.
racing.
Lawrence Taylor was a guy who would line up, and they would go in motion to send their
Absolutely.
running back from that
Absolutely.
side to
Man,
help.
it's okay. Lawrence Taylor's great. I just think Khalil Mack's better.
No, there's no
I think,
comparison.
hey,
Yeah, he's faster. Lawrence Taylor's faster.
I think everybody at this table though can agree that Michael Jordan is better than LeBron.
Well, I just try to explain
They're
to you
two
why.
different
why,
players.
why
Yeah, two-
I
I
just try
agree
to
with
explain
you.
to you why you
I agree
can't
with you,
mess with
Carson.
Lawrence Taylor, man. I'm just.
Lawrence Taylor's the greatest defensive player I've ever seen.
Peppers out there running around a 4.4.
Peppers.
Like it's not like he ran like a 4.8 or something. He's like
We act like Khalil Mack's out here not pushing grown men around with his palm.
But Lawrence Taylor could have played corner or safety if he wanted to.
He could have done anything.
You know how we
what,
get amazed.
you think Khalil Mack couldn't line up at DT?
No, listen. You know how we get
he's
amazed.
maybe taller than Donald.
Well, he played defensive
That
tackle.
doesn't help you as defensive tackle.
Well, I know you need
take him
leverage,
to
but
the
I'm just
cat's
saying.
corner.
I mean, you
I'm
mean to tell
telling
me he
you,
ain't
Terry.
strong.
Aaron Donald's the
I'm
same
gonna
height
have
as
him
me, but
walk
he's
through
like
it, too.
this much wider
Walk
than me.
through it.
Hey, I'm just saying.
So anyway,
That's my point of view.
Carson, your Rams are actually 11-1. So don't say.
Sorry. Didn't mean to short you.
Don't steal your team.
Wait, what did
Yeah.
he say? 10-1.
10
I
and
thought
one.
you said 12-1. I was about to say you
Not
must
yet.
be a rude awakening.
Not yet.
Well, that's
Not yet.
Listen, Bill Walsh to me was one of the greatest coaches, top 3 of the greatest coaches of all time. And they asked him who he thought was the greatest defensive player that he ever had to face. He said hands down Lawrence Taylor. He said Lawrence Taylor was the
Oh, well,
greatest.
Bill
Now,
Belichick
listen,
said the same thing.
When
said he's
Dean
the only
Smith
guy
said
who-
David
yeah.
Thompson was the greatest college basketball player ever. That's like Bill Walsh, in college. That's like Bill Walsh saying that.
Well, Bill Belichick said the same thing about
that's what
Lawrence
Bill-
Taylor. Bill
Belichick
Belichick
said
said Lawrence Taylor is the only player he ever let sleep during
He didn't show up to 12:30 at the game.
Yeah, he said he's the only person he ever let sleep during a film review. He said he doesn't even let Tom Brady sleep during film review.
He didn't show up to 12:30. Parcells, somebody asked
review's over.
Yeah, that's Parcells one time said Lawrence not here. He says not game time, is it?
So
It's not game time, so that's it. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. All right. My internet is slow as Christmas tree. I was trying to pull up some things here, and I don't know what's going on. Anyway,
You're
I was
in
looking-
trouble this weekend, Carson. It says Trubisky's back.
Oh boy.
Tell
Against
him
the
to
Rams?
YouTube Lawrence Taylor.
Oh gosh.
I've seen Lawrence.
Mitchell Trubisky
I've
couldn't even
seen
beat
him.
State.
What'd you say?
Mitchell Trubisky couldn't even beat State.
Lawrence Taylor was so good when he hurt you, he knew you were hurt and hollering for people to come and get you.
Why would you bring that up? Why would you bring that up? Why would you bring that up? Well, hey, you just throwing salt in the wounds. You better apologize
Get
to
out
Alex
here.
Smith
This
right
dude's
now, because they didn't do that for him.
All right, let's pick some games for this weekend, guys.
Pick'ems.
Quick as you can, round the table. Start with Carson and go to the counter and clockwise, whatever. Colts at Texans.
Texans.
Colts.
Texans.
Texans, absolutely.
Yeah.
Falcons at Packers.
Ooh, I'm gonna take the Falcons.
Packers.
I'm taking Green Bay at Lambeau.
Where they playing at? Where they playing at?
Green Bay.
I'll take Green Bay.
Yeah.
Remember,
I'll take Green Bay.
it's more in Green Bay than it is in Atlanta
Yeah.
today.
Well,
I'll take Green
Joe
Bay.
Philbin hasn't called an offensive play since 1996.
Gosh, guys, I tell you,
Since
I'm
1996.
taking the Falcons.
Go
I'm
with
taking
your
the
gut.
Falcons. They got more offensive.
That's why I would do
explosion.
with the Colts. I said they go. Andrew Luck's gonna bounce back.
Falcons. I agree. Yeah, I'm sticking my pick.
But I'm sticking with Green Bay.
Of course, I just lost the schedule because I hit the wrong button. The internet finally caught up for with me and just moved my schedule.
Hang on.
I don't understand. I'm plugged into the wall. There must be something wrong with this outlet. It's got to be the problem.
Hang on.
We got it pulling
Carson's
up.
pulling it up on his
We got apps
paper
for this.
We got apps for this. Yeah.
It's 2018.
Okay, well, Ravens Chiefs.
Ooh,
there you go.
Ravens.
Wait. Is it in Baltimore or Arrowhead?
Arrowhead.
It's Arrowhead.
I'm taking the Chiefs.
Yeah, I got.
Not by a lot, but I'm taking
Fair.
the Chiefs.
I got the cards. I'll pull it up. Go ahead.
Terry?
Yeah, I like defenses, but when you're playing at Kansas City, I'm
Inexperienced quarterback.
Yeah.
Got to take Chiefs.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Lamar Jackson has moments where he looks lost.
He's also fumbled it, 5 times already?
Yeah.
He's not going to beat the Chiefs. Not with that offense.
Patriots at Dolphins.
No.
This is that
Miami.
weird Miami game.
Is it?
Yes,
It
it is.
is.
I'm taking Patriots.
Is it? Hello. Think of December.
That's right. Yeah.
Hello.
Thanks,
It's
Herm Edwards.
Well, New England
You play to win the
New England is 64-11 since 2000.
Give me the Patriots.
Playing in December.
Yeah, I'll go Patriots.
Yeah, come on.
Giants at Redskins.
The Giants.
That's all.
Wait a minute now.
Hunter's
Now,
like, screw
Scott's
it.
not playing for the Giants. I'm going to let you know that.
Tank, let me get a quarterback. Tank.
No, hey, I'm dead serious. We're tank our hearts away and find whichever quarterback they say is the best coming out of college. Take him because I don't think Alex Smith
Giants are
recovers
going to
from
win
this.
with Eli.
I don't think
throwing less
Alex
than
Smith
200
recovers
yards.
from this, and I am definitely not riding.
They are.
Do you
I'm not riding
guys
Buck
feel
Rumble.
sorry for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers today as New Orleans comes into town after
Yes,
losing to Carolina?
I feel 110% sorry
Yeah.
for Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Wait, Tampa Bay beat
You picking
Carolina.
them up?
No, well, yeah.
Tampa Bay beat them last time.
I'm taking New Orleans.
In week 1, Terry.
I'm taking New
Yeah.
Orleans.
Tampa Bay's going to be able to score.
That's
New
when the
Orleans
Fitz
has got a
magic
sour-
was fresh
New
and
Orleans
new.
got a sour taste in their
Yeah.
mouth that the Rams jumped them in the power
But I'm
polls.
taking the Saints.
I'm taking
Yeah, no, the
Saints,
Saints are that offense is backlogged. They're going to drop 50 on the Bucks.
I
Yeah,
hope
they're
so.
going to. Yeah.
I hope Michael Thomas has 3 touchdowns. And
For all your friends in hell today, the only TV, Jets and Bills.
Oh God!
give me Buffalo. Josh Allen is the best quarterback in that draft. Give me Buffalo.
It's
He's
a
gonna
flip a coin. I mean, I'll
Josh
take
Allen is
Buffalo.
going to beat Sam Darnold, and he's going to flip
Sam
him off
Darnold
when he
even
comes
playing?
off. I doubt he's playing, but it don't matter. I'd still flip off Sam Darnold. Be like, everybody talked
Well,
about you and didn't give me a
we're not
chance
gonna-
to win
we
this
got-
football game.
I'm going to go Jets. just to
Bengals
be
at
contrarian.
Chargers.
Bad pick.
Bengals,
Chargers.
Chargers. Yeah.
Chargers.
But that was a bad
absolutely.
pick.
Just to be contrarian.
Since Marvin Lewis joined the Bengals,
You mean Hugh Jackson?
Hugh Jackson joined the Bengals.
Yeah, I know what you're going with.
Yes.
Ofer.
The Browns are 2-1. The Bengals hadn't won. The Bengals,
AJ Green
the
is
Bengals
hurt for the
quarterback
year.
and wide receiver have been knocked out for the season. And the Bengals lost to the Browns, so the Browns won on the road, and Hugh Jackson never won
And
on
if
road.
the Bengals lose out and Marvin Lewis gets fired, they say Hugh Jackson is next in line for that position.
Broncos at 49ers.
Broncos are getting hot at the right time.
I will take the Broncos.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, Broncos.
That defense, but Kyle Shanahan will help them. put
Steelers
points
at
up.
Raiders.
Steelers. Raiders are bad.
Yeah.
Steelers
all the way.
Steelers.
Yep.
Lions at Cardinals.
Lions.
That's
Cardinals
a
are bad.
crap show, just as bad as
Lions
Bills
or
and
Cardinals? Give me the
Jets.
Lions. I'll take the Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rams at Bears.
Bears. And that was really
I'll
hard
go
for
last.
me.
I'll go last. I'll wait.
Bears.
That was hard for
Absolutely.
me.
I think it'll be
Go
Rams.
ahead, Bears.
I think it'll be
I
Rams.
think the Rams going to win in Chicago.
24-17.
Vikings at Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Seattle.
Yeah, Seahawks are picking.
Yeah,
Seahawks is going to be
it's in
scary in the
Seattle,
playoffs.
yeah.
Eagles
that's
at
a scary wild
Cowboys.
card.
Cowboys.
They no doubt about it. How about them Cowboys?
Who's where?
How about
Eagles
them
at
Cowboys?
Still taking walk it to them Wentz.
Yeah.
I would have really liked to pick the Eagles,
I'd
but
love
the
it.
Cowboys are really good at home.
Yeah, be
Panthers
careful.
at
Be
Browns. What's so funny about this Panthers Brown game? Spread is even. They haven't. They don't have anybody favored.
Panthers Browns.
Panthers Browns.
It's
is
in
even.
Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
Mayfield, you could be my favorite player tomorrow.
Yeah, listen.
I'm taking Dog Pound.
I'm gonna
Give me
take
the Browns.
I'm gonna take
in Cleveland.
Carolina by 1.
I'm taking Carolina. If I don't take Carolina, Ken won't talk to me.
Trivia question of the day.
Love you, Ken.
Trivia
Love you,
question of the
Ken.
day.
That's it. I understand.
What do Todd Gurley and Kevin Hastings have in common?
Todd
Share the
Gurley,
same
Kevin
They
birthday.
both beat Lincolnton.
Well, you neither.
And the real answer to that
Well,
is that they can't keep neither one of us out of the end zone. Yeah, the answer to that trivia question, Terry, is what do Kevin Hastings and Todd Gurley have in common? Is that Lincoln High School can't keep either one of us out of the end zone.
Oh my goodness.
That's the truth. All right, give the scores, guys. We got to go. It's parade time.
It is.
Go ahead,
All
Terry.
right, y'all. In the 1A bracket, it was Murphy 28, Robbinsville 6, Pamlico County 16, Rosewood 12, East Surrey over Starmount 44-27, Tarboro over Eden and Holmes 48-7. Setting up matchups in the 1A, Murphy and Pamlico County, and East Surrey and Tarboro in the 1AA.
In the 2A West, it was Reedsville with a comeback win, 24-21 over Brevard. Northeastern, high-scoring game, 47-36 over Southwest Onslow. Shelby, a come-from-behind win, 28-21 over High Brighton. North Davidson, 24, Ledford 7. That'll set up Reedsville Northeastern for the 2A state title, and Shelby North Davidson for the 2AA state title.
It was Charlotte Catholic 30, Kings Mountain 7. Charlotte Catholic came out on top, and they will be facing Jacksonville in the state championship game. Jacksonville beat Havelock 41-34. It was Weddington 45, Mount Tabor 12. So Weddington will then go on in the 3AA state championship to play Southeast Guilford, who beat Cleveland 37-33. Hey Tim, you want to take that last board?
Yeah, is it, which one is it?
Farboard on the right.
Farboard.
Okay, Scotland County defeated, is that?
71st.
71st, 28-0. Let's see, Porter Ridge against East Forsyth. East Forsyth, number 1 seed, defeated number 6 seed, 32-14. Let's see, Vance defeated Myers Park and 21-13. It's a 5 seed against 6 seed, and they will play against the number 1 seed Wake Forest 49-7 over Pinecrest, the number 6 seed.
Now, Hunter, I got one thing I wanted to mention from last night in the picks during the game. I don't remember if Carson remembers this or not. Do you remember Terry's breakdown of the Ledford football team?
I didn't commit it to memory, but
what he say?
We asked him, Hunter, to break down the game.
Look at his face.
And Terry said that when he coached against them in the 80s in basketball, they played good defense.
Yeah.
And that so therefore he's picking them to play tough defense tonight in the football game.
They played good defense.
25 years later in a different sport.
When you do not see teams, you find something.
Terry was also
That was his breakdown of the game.
Terry was dropping Belmont quotes left and right. Tradition never graduates. Blah blah
He
blah.
had them all written
I didn't
down.
have that written behind no left for that.
That was the breakdown, Hunter. 25 years ago in a basketball game, they played good defense. So I'm going with that.
Hey.
He said, it was the quote was like, if you would have seen them play defense on the basketball court, I can't imagine what they'll play tonight.
Well, I could have easily sat here and said, I know nothing about them. I mean, you know.
Well, guess what, Terry?
You did.
We're not
You
gonna
did. You
fault
said
you.
it differently.
We're not
It
going to
was
fault
just
you
in
for
a
being
different
truthful.
sport.
If you don't know nothing, you don't know nothing.
That was
Don't
awesome.
give us fake news. And guess
It
what?
was
They got
not
they got
fake
friggin' they got friggin' washed.
That was
They
not
got washed.
fake
There's no such
news.
thing as defense.
Oh,
24-7.
All right, guys, real quick, for next week's, we'll let you know about when Shelby plays, who they play in our schedule on Facebook and Twitter. You can call the station during
We
the week.
know
Let
who
us
they
know.
play, just
When
when
they
they
play
play.
North Davidson. All right,
Yes.
does everybody picking Shelby to win?
Yeah, everybody's picking Shelby.
All right, we got to go. Parades today, Cherryville 10:15. We'll start the broadcast 10:30 as the parade, and then Cat Squares at 1 o'clock today. See head coach Wesleyan head coach Tom saying he's the mayor of Cat Square today. See him in the parade, and come on up, watch it on KTC Broadcasting YouTube. Just search Cat Square or Cherryville Parades or KTC Broadcasting on YouTube. For Carson Dockery, Hunter Yancey, Tim Johnson joined us today, helped out. Calvin Hastings, Terry Reinhardt, and everybody. Steve Robay is listening back at the where he's at, and Steve.
Hello, Steve.
Steve's gonna see us Wednesday at the party, and then he's gonna be coming back next week. We're gonna break him out, guys.
Oh yeah.
We'll see you guys in a couple weeks. KDCBroadcasting.com.
Quitting time? Who says it's quitting time? I said it's quitting time. I was the foreman. I was the one says when it's quitting time to tell us. Quitting time! Quitting time!